Yo, yo, yo. Mic check, mic check. Everyone in the chat, tell me how I sound right now. I'm gonna rewatch the stream on my phone. Give me 1 second. But if you can hear me loud and clear, just put a W in the chat. You rewatch this. Give me 1 second. Let me hear this. Give me 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, I think I sound good. What's going on, everybody? What's going on, chat? One Piece break week. Thought I would stream. Let me read the chat real quick. Shout out to Jose. Wait, I can hear myself. Let me turn off my phone. Okay. Okay, let me read the chat real quick. Shout out to Jose here. Okay, shout out to Sun God Nika. I honestly think since Law and Kid and Luffy are having a tough time, Kid and Law are also somewhat the protagonists and might win. Foreshadowed during Sabaody arc when Law, Kid, and Luffy face off versus the Marines. I'm gonna be honest with you, they are protagonists, but they're not really protagonists. They are kind of like Dragon Ball Z Vegeta like characters where they are always on the good side, but they're not really on the good side. If you understand what I'm saying there. So the thing is, the reason why they can't win, it's not that they won't win. Because if you actually look at it at an analytical level, they're not far off from Shanks and Blackbeard. Yes, there's a gap. Shanks and Blackbeard to me are Yonko level characters. Law and Kid to me are low Admiral level characters like Furutora and Green Bull, not like Kizaru Aokiji or High Admiral like Akainu, who I think is Yonko level. But the reason why they can't win is because of not physical, like they're not matching up to the Shanks and Blackbeard. It's more so for the story. Blackbeard and Shanks are more important right now. I always seen Kid and Law as characters that are important when the end of the story is actually finishing. So when Luffy's Pirate King, Kid and Law are actually way more important than Shanks. Not Blackbeard, but Shanks. So that's how I see it from my point of view. Okay, let me see. We waiting, Mac. Shout out to Sky Limits. Sound like the legend himself. You already know lasagna. Joy Boy. Shout out to Joy Boy. Shout out to Piece of Puzzle. Shout out to Shaggy. Shout out to my guy Kevin. Yeah, kind of like I was stressing, yo. I gotta make sure you guys can hear me, bro. I don't want to be talking like a whole soliloquy and no one can hear me, you know. So let's see. Zoro versus Shiryu of the Rain or Zoro versus Miyok. What's more exciting fight? Obviously, Zoro versus Miyako is a more exciting fight. The reason why Zoro versus Miyako is a more exciting fight is because it's build up. If a fight has more build up, it's gonna be more exciting. That's the reason why we're excited to see Blackbeard versus Shanks. When Shanks pulls up to Blackbeard, that is gonna be the most hyped up fights until Luffy fights Blackbeard. It's just Blackbeard's been built up since Drum Kingdom when Ace was chasing after him. So you have to understand that build up is the reason why we're excited for fights. That's why I really appreciate fights like Lucci versus Luffy or Katakuri versus Luffy because they came out of nowhere. Those fights are, in my personal opinion, top three fights in the One Piece story, but they came completely out of nowhere. So, of course, Doflamingo versus Luffy is a good fight, but that was built up, of course, since early, like after Luffy beat Bellamy and Doflamingo pulled up on him and talked about Smile and the Marineford War and Sabaody and his auction house. So that's been built up too. So Kaido's also a fight. I think Kaido versus Luffy is top three in the story, and that's been built up as well. Honestly, that's the reason why it's crazy. Law versus Blackbeard and Kid versus Shanks are two built up fights, but Shanks versus Kid is more built up. See how there's levels to everything? So that's why I am extremely excited to see the next chapter. It's break week, obviously, but I can't wait to see who goes in. If Kid lands a hit, it's crazy because if Kid doesn't land a hit, we're gonna be giving him L's. But if Kid does land a hit, which we're expecting, we're gonna be looking at Shanks like, damn, he actually took a hit because we've seen Big Mom take a hit, we've seen Cattle take a hit, we've seen Whitebeard take a hit, we've seen Blackbeard take a hit. Shanks is the last Yonko where we haven't seen him take a hit. Even Luffy and Buggy, the new Yonkos, have taken hits. So that's what I'm excited for. It's crazy to say this, but I'm excited for Shanks to take an L, but he's not really taking an L because I think Shanks is gonna win. But I'm excited to see him finally get roughed up. I think the last time Shanks actually got roughed up was fighting Mihawk back in the days. Even Wiper talked about how those fights were heard all around the Grand Line. So if you want to look at it like that, the reason why Zoro versus Mihawk is more hyped than Zoro versus Shitty the Rain because Zoro versus Shitty the Rain has no build up. Even Luffy versus Blackbeard. Luffy versus Blackbeard has extreme amount of build up. They fought in Impel Down. They talked to each other in Dressrosa. Blackbeard captured his brother and sent him to Marineford to his death. Blackbeard stole Wiper's Delver ability. You think when Blackbeard uses the Gurgur on me, Luffy's gonna be like, yo, that's old man's Delver ability that was helping me try to free Ace. So you have to understand there's so much buildup. Now Garp is going to fight Blackbeard. We've seen that in chapter 1071. So you have to understand that buildup is why fights are hype. And Shitty the Rain and Zoro has literally zero buildup. The only reason that's built up is because Shitty the Rain is a swordsman on the Blackbeard Pirates and Zoro is a swordsman on the Straw Hat Pirates. So the buildup of Zoro versus Shitty the Rain is all from Luffy versus Blackbeard, if you understand what I'm saying right there. I do want to say this though. I think it's gonna get more built up soon, but with the invisible fruit and Shiryu was at the same level as Magellan when Magellan had that hacks Delphi ability and he had no Delphi ability. So there is hype for that character. Let me see. Is Shiryu like on par with Blackbeard? Shiryu the Rain is not on par with Blackbeard. Shiryu the Rain is he's an anomaly. He reminds me of Ben Beckman, but it's the opposite. We can't power scale Ben Beckman because we've never seen him fight, but his moment with Kizaru, now he's implied to take Eustass Kid's arm. Now he's hyped up as the moon to Shanks' son. Like people are considering Ben Beckman Yonko level, which I think is a little too far. I think Ben Beckman is around like Admiral level, like Aokiji, Kizaru. Like if Ben Beckman fought Akainu, I wouldn't be surprised if it lasted 10 days and he lost a leg like Aokiji. But right now you can't really power scale Ben Beckman because we've never seen him fight. The same thing with Shiri the Rain. He's not on par with Blackbeard. It's kind of the opposite because we know Magellan beat Shiri the Rain and locked him up. But we do know that they did say he was on the same level as Magellan. Now he has the invisible fruit. Now he's in the new world. He's obviously got stronger. Look how strong Law and Kid got from their battles in Wano. You think the Payback War didn't get these guys stronger? And now these new Delph abilities that we got from Absalom, of course, the strong fruit for Jesus Burgess, the warp fruit for Von Augur, and of course, Daku's Delph ability, the disease fruit. So that's why Shiri the Rain has hype right now, but I can't say for certainty that he's on par with Blackbeard. That's too crazy. If anything, the only Blackbeard pirate that is close to Blackbeard's level is Aokiji, and he's not really a Blackbeard pirate, but right now we got to consider him. Let's see. Do you think Blackbeard versus Shanks will be before Luffy and Shanks? Yeah, I think Blackbeard versus Shanks will be before Luffy versus Shanks. Blackbeard versus Shanks is supposed to happen now. Honestly, it's the final saga, and Blackbeard and Shanks. It's crazy to say this, but they're not the main characters. Blackbeard's the main villain, but Shanks is not the main character. It's crazy because Shanks was in chapter 1. Blackbeard is the main villain, but yeah, he wants to claim the One Piece. Yeah, he wants Kid's Ronin Poneglyphs, but we all know that Luffy is going to become Pirate King. That's something that every single fan should know. If Luffy doesn't become Pirate King, the story looks a little weird. It's weird because you've been screaming about how you're going to become Pirate King for so long. So it has to happen before Luffy versus Blackbeard. Now I'm just thinking what will happen. Like, will Shanks die in that battle or will Shanks live? Because Shanks has so much mystery to him with his connections to Celestial Dragons, his connections to the Gorosei, and maybe future implications when it comes to Imp Sama. Okay, let's see the next thing. Okay, Shanks has to take a hit compared to Big Mom and Kaido. He seems less durable to them. Okay, why didn't they just show Kid versus Shanks? Most fights in One Piece are like 3 minutes other than Kaido, Lucci, Katakuri, and Doflamingo. Well, I'll say this. When Blackbeard clashed with Law at I think it was the end of chapter 1063, we got most of the fight in chapter 1064 between Law and Blackbeard. So we could see, even the next chapter, we could see Kid fight some red hair pirates like fleet members or Rockstar he could fight. Don't forget there was 2 red hair pirates that we didn't see in the chapter, Bonk Punch and Lime Juice. And Lime Juice looks badass. So we could see a situation where he's going to Shanks' territory, Elbaf, just the same way that he went to Whole Cake Island. You're gonna have to go through a Sweet Commander. You're gonna have to go through a top commander to actually see the Yonko. So we could see Kid versus Lime Juice. Lime Juice to me seems like the 4th commander on the Red Hair Pirates after, of course, Ben Beckman, Yasop, not Yasop, Ben Beckman, Lucky Ruth, then Yasop. Then I see him as a 4th commander. So he could be a very powerful character that Kid has to defeat before he fights Shanks. But I think we're gonna see Kid versus Shanks in the next chapter, at the end of it, or the chapter after that. But that's it. We're not gonna see. It's gonna be the exact same thing we saw at Law versus Blackbeard. We're gonna see a little bit of it, but we're not gonna see the whole bit of it. We're gonna come after after Egghead Island. We're gonna find out about Law versus Blackbeard in the newspaper, and then we're gonna go to Elbaf because Luffy, Usopp, all that Elbaf hype is gonna be there, and we're gonna find out about Kid versus Shanks there. We're not gonna see it, and we most likely might see Big Mom come back and fight on Elbaf. Okay, but remember in Empodan how Magellan almost wiped out Blackbeard crew and Magellan is on par with Shiryu as stated in the arc. Well, you have to understand, Magellan wiping out Blackbeard's crew wasn't because he was stronger than Blackbeard. Regardless if he was stronger than Blackbeard or not. He wiped out the crew because his Delphi ability is just hacks. It's broken. And Blackbeard has gotten stronger since then. You have to understand, Blackbeard has got the Gurgur no Mi. He's been in the New World. You see his Armin Haki against the Seraphim. There is even theories. Shout out to Zakia1. He did a theory about Blackbeard might even having Advanced Conqueror's Haki. Check out his channel, where we see Black Lightning in some of his clashes with Law. So he could even have Advanced Conqueror's Haki. I'm not going to go that far just yet because to me, confirmation is everything. But I think we got to be patient with it. Blackbeard is a beast. He takes a lot of hits and he has a couple L's that make us look at him sideways. But I truly believe that Blackbeard is a monster. I only see two outcomes for this fight: Kid winning or a stalemate. I don't see Oda having Kid fight Shanks for him to lose again. When he lost the fight first time he met them. Well, you have to understand, he never actually faced Shanks the first time. So this is his first time actually going up against Shanks. He lost his arms to someone that wasn't Shanks. We're assuming it's Ben Beckman. So for me personally, when it comes to Eustass Kid, I even had this argument with Zakia1 where I don't think it's a bad thing for Kid to lose to Shanks in a 1v1. That's a Yonko. Even Luffy, Kid, and Law didn't really beat their Yonkos 1v1. You see how many times it took Luffy to actually fight Kaido? You see the Red Scourers that fought Kaido, the Worst Generations teamed up. Yamato even fought Kaido for a certain amount of time. So you have to understand, these Worst Generations are getting close to Yonko level, but they're not there yet. I think Luffy's the closest to Yonko level, where I'm actually pushing the agenda that Luffy in Gear 5th, if Luffy can master Gear 5th and have no drawbacks, he probably is top one in the verse right next to Blackbeard. So that's for the future, though. Right now, these guys are trying to get to that level, and they're very, very close. So Kid winning will definitely ruin Shanks as a character. It's messed up to say this because I like Kid and I like Shanks, but that fight is predetermined, yo. Shanks is gonna win. Shanks is gonna win. There's a reason why Kid is meeting up with Shanks, yo. Shanks is gonna take his World Poneglyphs. He just said a couple chapters, 20 chapters ago, he wants to claim the One Piece. So that's how I see that right there. Let me read the next comment. Do you think Kid can sober Shanks up? That's a good one. I remember reading Luffy versus Kaido and how he was getting sobered up. I think Kid definitely could sober up Shanks, but I don't think it's. I think Shanks is beating him mid diff. He's not really struggling to fight Eustass Kid. Like it's not gonna be high diff or extreme diff. It's gonna be mid diff, but it's going to be close to high diff. It's going to be close to high diff, and most likely going to be mid diff because Kid did get stronger. If this was Kid on Wano, how he fought Big Mom, it's easy mid diff. But this is Kid after Wano. We've seen Law get his buffs. He's using Awakening much easier. He's using Haki better. So Kid has Conqueror's Haki. He's seen Luffy hit damage Kaido with a physical blow. He's definitely going to try to get stronger in between arcs. Everyone gets stronger in between arcs. The same thing with Zoro and Sanji. Zoro and Sanji are incredibly powerful after Wano because not only did they destroy King and Queen, but they also got a buff after Wano. You have to understand that. Look at Luffy. Him versus Lucci. He's literally using Gear 5th like it's nothing. And we see that he just recently got this form. So you have to understand everybody's getting stronger after the Wano arc that was actually taking W's in the Wano arc. And to me, the main guys that took W's in the Wano arc are Luffy, Kid, Law, Zoro, Sanji, and even Killer. People don't even understand that Killer took a big W in that arc. First of all, he goes up on the rooftop. The rooftop was only for goats. Big Mom even said it when she was rushing down I think it was on the 3rd floor, and everyone was panicking. She's like, don't worry, guys. I'm going to where Kaido's on the rooftop. She's pretty much saying that she doesn't want to deal with the small fry. Zoro was pissed off because he saw Okiku's arm fall down. So he's thinking, I want to get to the rooftop. Killer was going to the rooftop. He fought Kaido. He took hits from Big Mom. You have to understand that he also defeated Hawkins, a worst generation member who's Hawkins is a pretty powerful character. I think he's flying 6th level. He low dipped Hawkins while taking so much damage from Hawkins because he couldn't even fight Hawkins up front. So Killer is a powerful character, and I think Killer is around Jinbei level. So I honestly believe that those 6 characters, Luffy, Kid, Law, Zoro, Sanji, and Killer, all got W's in Wano. So I'm really excited to see what they can do after Wano. Even we've seen that rivalry between Killer and Zoro heat up because they fought the Camels of the Manslayer when he was nerfed. Then they talk shit to each other on the rooftop. So now I'm trying to see Kid and I think Kid versus Luffy is gonna be a hype fight because Kid actually has a guy that can fight Zoro that has built tough fight to Zoro. That's Killer. Killer is the only other vice captain in the worst generation. That's Zoro. So honestly, I'm hyped to see Law versus Kid too because they always go back and forth and they teamed up versus Big Mom. But there's a lot of future fights the Final Saga has to offer. Okay, let me read these comments real quick. Out of the 4 Yonko, oh, shout out to Arlo. Yo, you were a goat in the stream. Okay, wait, let me read the chat's going fast. Let me read the chat. Give me 1 second, yo. Okay. Advanced Conqueror's Haki is going to be a master power for him. Yeah, the fact that he has Conqueror's Haki, Oda didn't show Conqueror's Haki once for Kid and Wano. It's most likely that he's saving for the Shanks, the master of Conqueror's Haki, to get Kid to actually obtain that power up. So I always said it, yo, if Kid fights Shanks, he's probably going to get to Yonko level after the fight, regardless of win or loss, yo. Okay, let's see. Who would win in a fight between Law and Kid? Right now, I believe Kid would win in a fight because Kid has more endurance. He's more durable. I think he can outlast Law's awakening more so than Law can outlast Kid's awakening. Even though Law's durable too, he took a full-on Thunder Bagu on the rooftop. He took on multiple hockeyed up punches from Big Mom. Law's durability is very underrated. I just think that Kid can outlast Law because they're so close in the same power level that it's more so that Law has a better ability, but Kid has better raw power. So, and the fact that Kid has Conqueror's Haki is definitely giving that a little bit of the edge in that battle. Okay, shout out to Zakio1, yo. Everyone check out Zakio1's Advanced Conqueror's Haki theory, yo, because that is a really good video talking about Blackbeard and how he could have Advanced Conqueror's Haki. Yo, Mac, I got heat beating Monster High Diff, ending the fight by lightning him on fire will be a top 5 fight. No, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was recently watching BD Law's video, and he talked about how Heat and Wire could be really, really powerful, and we didn't really see them in Wano, and how Law's crew got a lot of buffs after Wano. So I think that Heat and Wire are actually gonna do damage. Now, Heat versus Monster, I'm gonna keep it real with you, yo. That's a tough fight. That's an extreme high diff fight because if Monster took Kid's arm, people gotta put respect on that monkey's name. But in all seriousness, though, I think Heat and Wire will put in work in Elbaf. I actually generally believe that. Okay, let's see the chat. Give me 1 second. Everyone like the stream. Don't forget to like the stream, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm trying to do weekly streams. I was trying to get Zaki01 on the stream, but he was sick. He's under the weather, so I couldn't really get him. But if you guys want guests too, drop down which guests you guys want on these streams because it's gonna be like a weekly thing. Will Eustass Kid get his lick back on Shanks? Permanent scar. That's tough, yo. I truly believe Shanks is a protected character. Sometimes when you're reading a story, you have to understand there's some characters that are going to get protected. And Kid is not a protected character. Shanks has shown that he's been a protected character. Look at his interaction with Greenbill. So I don't think he's going to have like a scar on Shanks. Just think about how Zoro getting that scar on Kaido was a big deal. And the reason why Zoro got that scar is because Kozuki Odin's sword, Odin scarred Kaido. It was kind of a thing. But even Kaido said the scar is just enough for you. I think Kid doesn't really need a scar on Shanks. Kid needs to do some amazing stuff against Shanks. It has to be a all-around battle with Shanks. We're not looking at one move for Kid to do on Shanks. Okay, out of the 4 Yonko, which crew is the strongest portrayal-wise? I honestly think Crossguild because of Miyak's sword skills portrayal being higher than Shanks. Listen, Crossguild, I'm hyped about Crossguild. Also, shout out to Zakio1. He did the Impel Down theory. You gotta check it out. It's really hype if you're a Crossguild fan. But the thing with Crossguild is Buggy is a non-factor. Buggy is not even flying 6th level. He's not even Yonko Commander level. He's not Admiral level. He's not Yonko level. Buggy is literally fodder. It's crazy to say this, but in the New World, he's fodder. So Their captain that's worth 3.1 billion berries that has a higher bounty than Luffy is null and void in any crew interaction. That hurts them drastically. But what saves them is their vice captain, Mihawk. Mihawk is worth 3.5 billion berries, and he seemingly looks to be Yonko level. He looks to be Yonko level, so the fact that he's on the crew makes them actually a worthy crew. Then they have Crocodile. We know Crocodile is extremely powerful. He could have Awakening. They've been building up Crocodile Awakening for a long time. And we know that he wanted to go for the top spot. He tried to take out Whitebeard. He fought Luffy multiple times. So I think Crossgill with Mihawk and Crocodile, and then Daz Bones too. Daz Bones is powerful too, but they just need more because look at these other crews. Look at Big Mom and Kaido's crew. They had King, Queen, and Jack. You have Katakuri, Cracker, and Smoothie, and you also can't forget about Snacks. So, and there's also Perispero, there's Oven, there's Daifuku. Look at the Flying Six. You had Who's Who going up against Jinbei. You had X Drake, Sasaki, Black Maria. Ulti was one of the most underrated characters in Wano. Then you have Apu and Hawkins, not even a part of the Flying Six, but they're powerful in their own right. So look at Wiper's crew. Wiper had Izo, Vista, of course, Jozu, Ace, and Marco were the top dogs, but Wiper's crew even was powerful with Kazuki Oden if you had Kazuki Oden too. So I think Cross Guild needs more right now. I think Daz Bones, Crocodile, and Miyuk are a good base, but you need 2 to 3 more legit fighters. That's why you got to check out Zakia One's theory because he believes that Doflamingo might join Cross Guild and also Weevil. So check out that theory. It's a really good video. Let me read the comments, guys. I don't want to rant too much, you know? Okay, let me see. What do you think about the theory that Shanks is acting like a Gryphon and he's pressing the One Piece until the right person, Nika Joy Boy, appears? I used to like this theory that you just talked about. Shout out to you, Dane, Pierre, Wedderburn. Shout out to you. I used to like this theory, but the reason why I stopped liking it is because you have to look at it like this. Now he's trying to claim One Piece. Now he wants kids with poneglyphs. Now he even told in Roger's flashback that he's gonna go by himself to see the One Piece. And then he's also meeting up with Whitebeard, and then of course meeting up with the Gorosei. Shanks is actually a character where I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. I think he wants the One Piece. I think Shanks wants the One Piece treasure, which is crazy, but I do genuinely believe that. So for me to say that he's guarding the One Piece for Luffy, I think he believes Luffy's the guy that Roger's waiting for, but I still think Shanks wants to go to Laugh and see the One Piece and live a pirate life. He's a pirate at the end of the day. He reached all the way to Yonko status for a reason. So that's why I think we got to put more respect on Shanks's goals and ambitions. I feel like it's too obvious. I feel like, let me read this. My bad. Let me read it. I feel like it's too obvious that way, but I guess we'll see. Okay. What about Usopp being as strong as Yasop? Like he's third tier strongest in Shanks' crew, but then Oda lets us down, says that he'll be the weakest in the crew. Yeah, you're right. Oda did say that Usopp will always be the weakest in the crew. But the thing with Ichiro Oda you have to understand is you got to read between the lines. So he's saying Usopp's going to be the weakest in the crew, but he's the same guy who didn't give Fruckbin, shout out to Fruckbin, he didn't give Frankie, Robin, or Brooke any hockey feats till this day. Till this day, shout out to Deontay Wilder, but till this day, they have no hockey feats. But you know who does have hockey feats? Usopp. You know who does have a Yonko level move? Nami. You know who did go up against a top young commander? Chopper. Oda does this where he has the mid tier be really, really consistent, but he has the characters like Nami, Chopper, and Usopp have really high highs. And I think Usopp, he might not be one of the strongest characters in the crew. He might not never surpass Jinbei, but the thing is, it's hockey. And what did Kado say in the Wano arc? Hockey surpasses all. So if Usopp's observation hockey becomes elite level in his battle versus Von Augur, whose Von Augur seems to be a very powerful character, because Von Augur is probably going to fight Yasop in a sniper battle when the Red Hair Pirates and the Blackbeard Pirates fight. I think Usopp will truly get a shine as a brave warrior of the sea, and we'll look at Usopp as a top Yonko commander on the Pirate King's crew. Because you have to understand, the Pirate King crew is different. You look at Rox's crew where they had Whitebeard, Big Mom, Kaido, Shiki, Captain John, Silver Axe, Wang Ji. Just all these powerful characters. Miss Barking. We see recently Stussy's Delphi ability. There was a lot of monsters on that crew. I look at the same when it comes to Roger's crew. You had Roger, you had Rayleigh, you had Scarborough Caban, you had, of course, Kozuki Oden, and you had way more characters that are going to be revealed to be powerhouses. So, honestly, I think that Luffy is going to have multiple guys on Yonko Commander level. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if we see Usopp actually go up against a monster like Green Bull. I have a video on that, but I need to explain it with evidence. I kind of say that because it's such a blasphemous statement, hyping Usopp up. Okay, let me see this. I think Shanks is 100% gonna meet Luffy before either of them fight Teach. I always thought that Shanks spent their past 22 years looking for poneglyphs from islands that Luffy skipped. I think, yeah, I think Shanks can definitely meet Luffy before he actually goes up against Blackbeard, or before Luffy goes up against Blackbeard. But I just see it as more so. I told Zaki this. I think that Shanks and Luffy might actually fight Blackbeard around the same time. What I mean by that is I could see Shanks and Blackbeard's fight ending and Luffy and Blackbeard's fight. It's not gonna happen right away, but it's gonna be like very close. Kind of like how Kaido fought Luffy and Big Mom, and then there was a couple week time skip, and then he fought Luffy again in the Worst Generation and the Red Scabbards. I could see a situation where Blackbeard fights Shanks and even fights Luffy and beats Luffy, and then fights him again maybe a week later, a couple days later. Something has to happen where that is where my vision is when it comes to Shanks, Luffy, and Blackbeard. I think that whole triangle right there is super connected. Okay. Yep, yep. Let me see. What if Luffy didn't have a mythical Devil Fruit? It'd be Vice Commander and Third Commander from Law and Kid, and Luffy's crew would they? What if Luffy didn't have a mythical Devil ability? It'd be Vice Commander and Third Commander from Law and Kid, and Luffy's crew. Would they win? I don't understand that question, but I think you're saying if Luffy didn't have his mythical Delphin ability, he just had Luffy from before he awakened his Delphin ability, would he beat Kid and Law together? I think that's the question. Uh, I don't know. It's a hard question. I'll be honest with you. I got to think about that. That's a really hard question. Just joined, so I don't know if you answered, but do you think Long Kid could beat Shanks and Beckman? Okay, just joined. I don't know if you answered, but do you think Long Kid could beat Shanks and Beckman? Okay, this might be controversial, but I don't think Law and Kid could beat Shanks and Beckman because I honestly think that Kid and Law are most likely around Ben Beckman's level. Like right now, you could give Ben Beckman the edge, but we don't know anything about him. But I can say for certainty they're minimum around his level. But the problem isn't Ben Beckman. The problem is Shanks. Shanks is, I believe, not even one. He could be two gaps, like two levels beyond Kid and Law right now. I truly believe Shanks. Yeah, it looks like I'm hyping him up, but the way that Haki got hyped up by Kaido during the fight with Luffy, and then seeing the betrayal of Shanks being the only living member that Kaido put up there with Whitebeard, Roger, Rocks, and Kuzuki Oden, I truly believe Shanks is a monster, and there's a big gap. So Ben Beckman's not the problem. That's why they don't win because it's Ben Beckman. They win because of Shanks. It's honestly, it's like the NBA. You're top heavy. If you're top heavy, you always have a chance to win the championship. Okay, let me see this. I was very happy to hit the thumbs up. Yeah, shout out to you. Shout out to Uchiha. Everyone liked the stream, guys. I want to do more streams on this channel because I never used to stream on this channel. So everyone liked the stream. I was very happy to hit the thumbs up. I can't wait until you hit 100,000 subscribers. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. You deserve all the lasagna. Shout out to lasagna, guys. We're so close to 100K subscribers. I think if we grind this year, because the thing with me is my problem is uploading us. I took a lot of breaks over the years when it comes to the hype of One Piece. So a lot of times I'm just restarting and getting you guys to how to say this, believe that I'm gonna be uploading consistently. So this year I'm gonna be uploading consistently, and I think we can do it. Hopefully, I'm not too sure yet, but I think if we actually post a lot of content and we're active, we can hit that 100K subscriber level. Let's see. I've seen you stream with BDA Law, so I like a stream with O'Hara. Oh, shout out to O'Hara. That guy's doing big things, yo. The greatest One Piece theory ever, yo. Shout out to that video. I don't really have a relationship with that YouTuber, but I don't mind. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you want to talk One Piece, I'll stream with you. Cause that's the thing. You guys have to understand. When I started this channel, all I wanted to do was kind of like just talk about One Piece, yo. So I don't mind streaming with anybody, especially in the community nowadays. Everyone's all connected, the referee and whatnot. Let me see. Buggy versus Usopp. No, Buggy versus Usopp right now. This might be crazy to say, but does Usopp? I think Usopp could win, but the thing is Buggy's Delphin ability. If Buggy's Delphin ability can avoid because now we're thinking like this, yo. How strong did Buggy get from pre-time skip to post-time skip? He obviously got stronger, but did he get really crazy stronger? Because is Usopp right now stronger than Luffy during the East Blue? Because Luffy during the East Blue pretty much low dipped Buggy. So I truly believe right now, I would say Usopp, because of the observation hockey and the power ups he got during the time skip, he literally trained to get stronger for Luffy. While Buggy is just kind of coasting to the Yonko position, but his durability still is a problem, and that's what can make it it's very very hard for Usopp. Let me see. Buggy is weak in the overall, but imagine the reaction the world would have if the world finds out he got the better of Zoro in the beginning of the story. Yeah, 100%. The thing with Buggy is his portrayal. Buggy is literally every power skills nightmare because if you ever see these power scaling channels where they talk about power scaling, they hate portrayal because portrayal really hurts their analysis because okay, this character beat this character, this character beat this character, then out of nowhere a character will say this character is as strong as anybody in the world, and it kills. It's like it reminds me of Jiraiya in Naruto, where Jiraiya's portrayal is so high but his feats don't match up to his portrayal. The fact that Itachi and Kisame ran away from Jiraiya, but we know how strong those monsters are. The fact it doesn't make sense for them to run. So that's the thing. A lot of people have to understand that betrayal is everything, and Buggy's gonna have that betrayal in the One Piece story. That's gonna make a lot of people look at him like, "What the hell?" So during the Shanks versus Kid fight, I think the Giants might side with Kid for taking down Big Mom and Kid. So during the Shanks versus Kid fight, I think the Giants might side with Kid for taking down Big Mom, and Kid might turn the tables, right? That's the thing. You have to understand. We don't know what's going on in Elbaf. Every island we've went to had some sort of civil discourse. So we can only assume that Elbaf also has civil discourse. Not all the giants are gonna like each other. So the two giants that I think that could side with Kid is the giants that live on Elbaf, which is Prince Loki and Saul D. Jaguar, who's we're assuming he's been living in Elbaf for the last 20 years, the last 2 decades. So the fact that Saul D. Jaguar is the man that Kid wants to find to get closer to the One Piece, and Prince Loki is the man who has beef with, of course, Big Mom. I truly believe that Kid taking down Big Mom could help his case in this battle. I hope it does, but you're right. That you do have a good point. Let me see. Oh, shout out to Aramaki stan count, Greenbow stan account. Disrespectful Kid in Law over any Yonko commander. One, the only pirates stronger than them are the Yonko. No, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. The thing is, I do agree. I think Kid and Law are stronger than King. I think they're stronger than Katakuri. I think they're stronger than even crazy as it is, but I think they're stronger than Zoro too. But you have to understand that Ben Beckman is an anomaly right now. We don't know nothing about him, and the fact that he took Kid's arm before and the hype he's getting. The thing is if it was up to me, I would put Kid and Law over Ben Beckman. But right now, I'm too scared to do that. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I gotta see something. I need confirmation. I told you guys confirmation and everything. So until I get confirmation, I'm putting Kid and Law on the same level as Ben Beckman because Ben Beckman has portrayal up to Kizaru, and I think that Kizaru versus Kid and Law. I think Kizaru can beat Kid and Law in a 1v1 right now. So that's why I'm really giving Ben Beckman that hype. I know it sounds disrespectful because these guys are about to become legends, but right now I gotta play it safe. Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, Usopp, Kid, Killer, Law, Beppo versus Kaido. No mythical Delphi from Luffy. Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, Usopp. Okay, Luffy, Zoro, Sanji is already an overpowered lineup because Zoro and Sanji got crazy power ups after Wano. Luffy, without his mythical Delph Fruit ability, he still had a crazy power with Advanced Conqueror's Haki with Gear 4th. So he's already a monster. He's Luffy's Admiral level without the Gear 5th, honestly. Like Fujitora Greenbow. He's not like Kizaru Aokiji, but I think he's Fujitora Greenbow with his Conqueror's Haki coding. Zoro and Sanji, Kid Killer, Kid Killers also and Law are also extremely powerful after Wano versus Kaido. Yeah, I think they beat Kaido, honestly. Kaido, you have to understand, Luffy beat Kaido in Gear 5th with Kankazaki coding in Rio at the end, where you have to understand, yeah, it's not a full true 1v1, but if all these characters team up, they will beat Kaido. The biggest thing was tearing them apart. Big Mom and Kaido was the biggest thing. I think that's what Oda is trying to show us by showing Law versus Blackbeard and Shanks versus Kid. Okay. Something is gonna Save kid from getting killed. What do you think it will be? That's really interesting because I do see a lot of people saying that something's gonna interrupt the fight between Kid and Shanks. Which, as a fan of Kid, I don't mind because I think Kid has no chance of winning, not because of his power scaling. I think for story wise, they're not gonna give Kid the win against Shanks. So someone interrupting is actually a good thing because I don't want Kid to lose. You have to understand that. But that's how I see it. Legend asked the question about Shanks being a Griffin earlier. What's the purpose of Revolutionary Army now? Don't see much relevance outside of Kuma's backstory. Well, the Revolutionary Army is more so Im-sama related. You have to understand, Luffy's not going directly against Im-sama. Shanks is not going directly against Im-sama. Blackbeard is not going directly against Im-sama. Yeah, Im-sama is watching them, but they're not really going up against Im-sama right now. The only person that's going directly against Im-sama is the Revolutionary Army because Sabo just found out about the empty throne, there being a king, and you have to understand that Dragon, the most wanted man, is gonna try to take down those characters. So don't be surprised the Revolutionary Army is gonna make their move because they're kind of trying to take down the Celestial Dragon. So I truly believe that Imsama is a Dragon Revolutionary Army plotline that's gonna happen now in the final saga. The fact that Sabo got eliminated too, obviously he didn't get eliminated, but the fact that they're trying to make us think that is a big deal. Okay. Do you think do you think Buggy will have the hockey the next time we see him? The last time we saw him fight, he easily was able to defeat multiple Bluguri and Empo down. I don't think Buggy has hockey. And the reason why I don't think Buggy has hockey is because you have to understand, Buggy has been around monsters his entire life. Like he joined the Roger Pirates in an early age, where he's seeing Goldie Roger and Rayleigh's crazy hockey. Even Scarpa Gabon and the rest of the Roger Pirates are powerful too. And they're going up against Whitebeard Pirates, they're going up against Shiki. He's crying when they're going up against Shiki. Yo, Rogers, don't fight Shiki. Obviously, they went into Big Mom's territory to steal Lord Poneglyph. So Buggy has seen monsters his entire life. Shanks even became a monster. He used to be for Shanks. So honestly, I don't think Buggy gets hockey. I think his whole storyline is that he's weak as hell, but he's portrayed as one of the strongest characters in the story. He kind of reminds me of Mr. Satan in Dragon Ball Z, where people see him as a monster, but he really is not that strong. But he does have a monster under him in Boo. I think Weevil could be that monster. If Weevil gets saved by Cross Guild, like Zakia once theory, I could see a situation where Buggy gets Weevil, and that's what truly makes him a powerhouse. Because right now, Miyok and Crocodile are not truly under Buggy. But if Weevil, who's very impressionable, who's very influenced, if Buggy can influence to help him out, like Miss Bockins did, because she's kind of like the Bobbity in One Piece. So that's how I see it. Oh, shout out to A Ovation. Everyone doesn't know A Ovation has been a long time supporter of the Legend Mac channel, so I gotta give him a shout out. Bro, the fights right now though we can't have Law and my guy Kid. The both can't get demolished. This is a new setup for the next generation. Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna be honest with you. You're right. They can't get demolished. It's pretty bad for them after they just got rolled poneglyphs and they just are about to go on their journey. It's like Luffy because now we're looking at Law and Kid kind of like Luffy, where we're kind of rooting for them. So them getting demolished is kind of sad. If they lose the road poneglyphs, they got to start from the beginning. But it's who they're going against, yo. They just fought unmovable objects in Big Mom and Kaido, but they had a lot of help, guys. Can't forget. Now they have no help. Shanks has his whole fleet, his whole crew, and his allies in the Elbaf there. Blackbeard doesn't even have his whole crew, and he's going crazy against Law. So you have to understand that it's not me, guys. It's Ichiro Oda. You gotta talk to Ichiro Oda. It's not me, guys. I honestly want Kid and Law to beat Blackbeard and Shanks just because I want the underdogs to win, but I just don't think it's gonna happen. I'm being very, very logical right now, and I'm not really a logical. If anyone knows me, I'm not a logical person. I'm more so emotionally based still. Like I root for who I want to win, but right now I can't BS you guys. If I truly believed that Kid and Law were gonna win, I would have told you guys. I just don't believe it. So we'll see after break week, and we'll see what happens when they get updated on these fights. Oh, shout out to Virgo. Yo, Max at it again. I can't lie to you. I'm at it again. Yo, I'm getting comfortable streaming now. I want to stream once a week. That's what I'm trying to do. So we'll see. I gotta get used to it too, because I've been on the platform for a long time. I've been on YouTube for a long time, but I never really was a stream guy. I really was more so just upload content and watch streams. If you guys see me, I'll be in other people's stream chats just trolling with the rest of you guys. But now I'm thinking maybe I should start streaming. Also, I've been watching a lot of streams on YouTube that has nothing to do with One Piece, so that is also the key motivating factor for me streaming again. Since Luffy's Delta Fruit isn't in the encyclopedia, this his Gear 5 might be resistant to seawater and Blackbeard's Delta Fruit powers. So Luffy might have a chance against Blackbeard. Thoughts? I honestly believe the biggest reason why Luffy is gonna struggle against Blackbeard is not because Blackbeard is truly more powerful than Luffy. It's because of the Yami Yami no Mi. Like the Gurgur no Mi and Blackbeard's Haki is gonna be canceled out by Luffy's base Gomu Gomu no Mi and of course his Conqueror's Haki coding and Advanced Haki and Advanced Future Sight, all that stuff. The biggest thing is Joy Boy's Delver ability, the Nika Delver ability, is so overpowered that I believe that Blackbeard's Yami Yami no Mi is needed to actually nullify that Delver ability. And that's why Kaido's trying to tell Luffy, yeah, your Delver ability is cool and all, but Haki reigns overall. I think Luffy's Haki has to be Roger level, who had no Delver ability, to beat Blackbeard. If he doesn't get his Haki to Roger level, he can't beat Blackbeard. His Delver ability won't be enough. Next Straw Hat. Okay, let's see. Oh, the chat's moving fast. Let me actually scroll up a little bit. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, I'm curious if the Straw Hats fleet interrupts the Kid fight, which have the Giants as allies. I don't know. Maybe they'll help if Kid asks for it. There is the whole plot line. If you guys have reread Big Mom's flashback, we know Haji Rudin hates Big Mom. Like he wanted her to be killed in that flashback, and now he's a fleet member of the Straw Hat Pirates. So he's one of the captains of the Straw Hat Pirate fleet. So if he sees Kid, it's kind of treacherous for him to actually help Kid without Luffy's permission, but he might help Kid because Kid took down Big Mom, a rivalry, not a rivalry, but more so a hatred that he had for Big Mom since as a child years ago when Big Mom was a kid. So 70 years ago, Hajirun has hate Big Mom, and now he sees Kid who took down Big Mom. There's obviously that plot line, but I don't. I think Hadrun might actually help Kid in against Shanks, but he might when Luffy pulls up, he might have to turn on Kid because I think Luffy and Kid might fight on Elbaf too. There's a lot of future fights that are gonna happen in Elbaf. I think Green Bull's gonna be a player too. The final saga is about to be the most chaotic saga in One Piece history. We gotta see the fleet soon. Which Barto watch Barto pull up? Yeah, Bartolomeo is probably on Elbaf because we know Red Hair Shanks did say they have to deal with him for what he did, putting Luffy's flag up and whatnot. So we probably could see Bartolomeo very, very soon. Next Straw Hat crew member. Next Straw Hat crew member. That's a good question. I think the next Straw Hat crew member is probably gonna happen on Elbaf. I think it's either Yamato later on down the storyline or Elbaf. But I think Elbaf's more likely. I think we're probably gonna get our final crew member on Elbaf, a new character that we've never seen. Think about this, guys. Every Straw Hat crew member has been a new character, other than Jinbei. Jinbei is a character we've seen for multiple arcs, and I think Yamato is definitely going to be fitting that role of if Yamato does join, it's going to be kind of like Jinbei, where we've known Yamato for so long, and then she finally joins. Then, of course, we have to think about Vivi. Vivi is an honorary Straw Hat member, but I think it's going to be a new character. I think Ichiro Oda and his editors, it just as fans, we're more excited to see a new character because we're gonna get to know that new character. It's hard to get to know a character we already know. Like Jinbei was an old character and he was an anomaly, but we're probably gonna see a new Straw Hat crew member. Okay, let me see. What? Give me 1 second. Yeah, everyone liked the stream, but we've been streaming for 40 minutes. I'm trying to stream probably for an hour or two more, like try to get all these questions out the way. And also, I want to talk about the actual topic of the stream, guys. See, Shanks versus Kid, but I didn't really talk about it like how I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it, but I want to get these questions out the way first. What outcome do you see happening between Blackbeard versus Law? I think Blackbeard versus Law will probably get captured. The reason why Blackbeard probably won't steal Law's Delphi abilities is because Blackbeard is very knowledgeable on history and Delphi abilities. You have to understand, this guy read the Delphi Encyclopedia. He probably knows that Law's Delphi can perform the immortal surgery. So just how Kaido tried to break down Kid and Luffy's character, he's gonna torture Law and try to break him down to the point where he actually does the immortal surgery on him, making him even more stronger. So that's how I see Law surviving the Blackbeard War. It would be crazy if Shanks dies because he was saving Buggy. That would be funny. I'll be honest with you. It would be crazy. Will we see Kaido chase after Luffy if he's still alive, and will recognize that he is Joy Boy? No. Well, honestly, I think that Kaido won't chase after Luffy because Kaido looked very, very, how do I say this, satisfied losing to Luffy because he sees Luffy as Joy Boy. He said it to King, the person that's gonna defeat me is Joy Boy. So he truly is done. His Kaido story arc is actually more done than any other villain we've seen in the story because of how long he's reigned in the One Piece world. You have to understand that Kaido is not like any other villain. Like Lucci, Crocodile, Doflamingo never really dominated that much of the One Piece world in the ground line like Kaido has. He's a Yonko, he's an emperor. So I think it's more likely that we see Big Mom's storyline still be continued because she said it herself when she was being defeated that, oh, do you guys think this is gonna kill me? No, no, I'm gonna come back for you in law. She told Kid that. So we probably could see an Elbap plot line. And we know Luffy has beef with Big Mom. So that a 1v1 fight with Gearfifth Luffy and Big Mom would be cool to see. See Luffy take down another Yonko. But honestly, right now, I don't think that Kaido is gonna come back in the story and be a major plot line. I think Kaido could be seen when Luffy becomes Pirate King and he's like bandaged up and just thinking like, damn, this guy really was the GOAT. But I don't think he's actually gonna be like chasing after Luffy. Yo, I'm trying to get his get back. Okay, let me see. Give me 1 second. Who's the Kaido chase after Luffy? For sure, a longtime fan was excited I caught your live stream. Mac has awesome content. Yeah, 100%. I'm not gonna lie to you. I remember a lot of the guys who were there in like 2016 when I made this channel. Like 2016, 2017, 2018 was like kind of like my run on YouTube where I really was consistently uploading videos. I went from 0 subscribers to 50K, 60K subscribers. The last 30K subscribers I got on YouTube was probably in the last 2 3 years when I started doing YouTube videos again more consistently. But I still took breaks. So obviously I remember all the names from back then. Yo, that was the Void Century right there. That One Piece Talk podcast needs a few guests. Yo, shout out to Larry in the One Piece Talk podcast. Yo, I watch that podcast all the time. Larry, Seb, the twins. Yo, I'm definitely a fan of that podcast, guys. Check out that podcast. It's really, I think that podcast is gonna blow up very, very soon. Their content is really interesting, especially after chapter. When the chapter drops, I definitely gotta see what their opinions on of course, the One Piece story. Always respected Mac. Yo, shout out to you. Yo, shout out to Kai Bar saying you always respected Mac. I'm not gonna lie to you. How to say this? I appreciate it. Any kind words or compliments, I appreciate it. The thing with me is how to say this? I just do this to talk about One Piece. So how to say this? And if I'm getting kind words or compliments, it's like kind of like a bonus because like me, I'm just trying to talk to you guys about One Piece. I love reading you guys comments. You guys understand? I read all you guys comments when you guys comment down on the comment section. Like I have had so many comments over the years. I've been on this platform for at least 7 to 8 years doing One Piece content. So you gotta understand that if I didn't enjoy doing this, I would have stopped a long time ago. Let's see. Has Big Mom gave up on her revenge against Luffy? I don't think Big Mom has given up on her revenge against Luffy. It's just the thing is, how do I say this? Imagine you had a revenge against a certain person, and then someone else does something worse to you. That's how I see it. She wanted revenge for Luffy, but Luffy never took her down. The guys that took her down were Kid and Law. So her revenge for them surpassed Luffy's, making Luffy's revenge very, very minimal. She still wants her get back with Luffy, but she has a lot of people that she wants to get back. And I think Kid and Law are top of the list. So Kid being on Elbaf, Luffy going to Elbaf, and then of course Big Mom coming to Elbaf as well would be a crazy plot twist in my personal opinion. Let me see. How do you think Luffy can win against Shanks? Shanks has the observation killer ability, so it's hard to predict Shanks' attack. I think honestly, Shanks is the type of guy where having an awakened Delphin ability is going to be really, really valuable because yeah, is the hockey master and hockey surpasses Delphin abilities, but you have to understand if Luffy is doing crazy things with Gear Fifth, or Blackbeard is doing crazy things with the Gurger no Mi, or even what do you call it? Kid with his magnetism Delphin ability. Those things, yeah, hockey surpasses Delphin abilities, but at the end of the day, the destructive capability of Delphin abilities is still insane and will have an effect on the battle. So I think the move sets that Luffy has, the move sets that Blackbeard has, the move sets that Kid has is going to be more Delphin based move sets while adding on hockey. That's why Whitebeard versus Roger was always interesting to me because Roger has no Delphin ability, but Whitebeard has the Gurger no Mi and his crazy Conqueror's hockey coding added onto that. So that's why they truly called Whitebeard the world's strongest man. Yes, Roger was the Pirate King, but they called Whitebeard the world's strongest man. And Whitebeard and Roger, there was never a loser. They always were equal in battle. So That's how I see it, honestly, when it comes to them going at it. Oh, we're gonna see some cool stuff with Shanks versus Blackbeard because people think Blackbeard's gonna win, of course, because he's a main villain. But Shanks is a hockey master, so he's his Blackbeard's Yami Yami no Mi is not gonna be really effective against Shanks. I think it would be kind of funny if Lucci and Kaku traveled to Straws for a bit. I think it would be funny, but it would kind of give me the vibes of if Smoker traveled with Straw Hats. Yes, I like Lucci and Kaku and they're funny and we know them for a long time, just like Smoker, but I like it better when Lucci's trying to take down Luffy. I like it better when Smoker is trying to take down Luffy. So back in the days, if you guys do not know, there was a big theory that Smoker would join the Straw Hat Pirates, and I wasn't really a big fan of it because I like when they're actually going at Luffy. Who's hockey stronger, Shanks or Roger? Right now, I think Roger's hockey is stronger. And the reason why I say that is because Roger is a Pirate King. Roger fought Prime Whitebeard. Roger fought Prime Rox D. Zebek, Prime Garp. You understand? Prime Garp hockey is insane. Yo, you saw what it did to Don Chinjao in the mountains breaking with his fist. Shanks, who has Shanks? Shanks has only gone up against Prime Mihawk, whose hockey is probably monstrous too, but it's more swordsmanship skill. So I think Roger being the Pirate King is hockey stronger, but I think Shanks is number two. If Roger's the greatest hockey user, I think Prime Shanks is probably tied with number two with maybe characters like Garp. I think those kind of characters. So, but right now I can't really power scale Prime Garp. I can't really power scale Prime Roger. I can't really power scale Prime Shanks because they've never fought truly. I've never seen named attacks. Maybe one named attack, Divine Departure from Roger, but I haven't really seen crazy named attacks from these guys. Okay. Theory, shout out to Shadow Moon Theory. Akano has a tragic backstory where a certain group of pirates are Roger and Rock's pirates who killed a certain member of his family or whole family, which is why he hates Luffy and pirates a lot. I think definitely Akano could be a big player when it comes to Roger and Rocks. He could definitely be a story element with those kind of characters. But I'll be honest with you, with Akano's flashback, I'm not too sure. Yo, he could be on some Hody Jones stuff where he just hates pirates. Yo, and he just likes absolute justice. But I think there's definitely gonna be something more to Akano's story. So I do agree that you're on the same ballpark with that theory, bro. I have a theory that Shanks will grow an arm back out of hockey as Ace in the hole. Okay, I think that is crazy because if Shanks is, we already seen Shanks use Conqueror's hockey to freeze an admiral. So if he uses Conqueror's hockey to grow an entire arm, and that's how he's pretty much been able to fight even at a stronger level than he did when he had two arms, that would be crazy. But when it comes to Ichiro, nothing surprises me. I truly believe nothing actually surprises me. Can you dispel the myth that Shanks and Kid are related? Well, yeah, Shanks and Kid are not related, guys. Shanks is, I believe, from the West Blue. Kid is from the South Blue. Uh, Shanks looks like to have ties to Celestial Dragons. Kid has no ties to Celestial Dragons. We actually seen Kid's flashback in a volume, I think in SBS, where they explain pretty much most of Kid's flashback. So I don't think there's, yeah, they have similarities when it comes to them both having one arm, both having red hair, both having scars on their face, but I don't think Shanks and Kid are related bloodline wise. It's just that they have a lot of similarities. Okay. Shout out to Straw Hat. Ayo, we out here. We definitely out here. So, okay, let me talk about it. I think I went through every single question in the chat. Man, that was hard, but I had to do it. It took me, how long did it take me to go through every chat comment? 53 minutes to go through every question in the chat. So, everybody liked the stream. I'm going to talk about Shanks versus Kid. This is where I see it. Shanks versus Kid is more controversial than Blackbeard versus Law because Blackbeard versus Law, I actually see where Blackbeard versus Law is gonna go. I think Blackbeard is gonna defeat Law, but I don't think Blackbeard is gonna take his Zelford ability and come out of nowhere with the Room ability because I truly believe Blackbeard's whole thing is Paramecia, Logia, and Zoan. I think the next Zelford ability we see Blackbeard have is gonna be a Zoan, but I think Blackbeard is so knowledgeable on history that he's gonna probably try to convince Law to do the immortal surgery. You think convince? How can he convince Law? More so because think about this. First of all, Law is wants to know the true history. Blackbeard is a historian, if you guys do not know, and Blackbeard is gonna torture him. He's gonna torture him how Kaido was trying to torture Kid and Luffy to join him. So I see that as a plot line there. I do want to say this: the reason why Shanks versus Kid is different is because, let's be honest here, we're gonna see for the first time Shanks actually fight. I remember the first time we saw Roger actually fight in the flashback, it felt like I was seeing spoilers. Imagine you reading an actual chapter and you feel like you've been spoiled, but Ichiro is actually allowing you to see Roger do Divine Departure, allowing you to see Roger use Konkurasaki coding and Konkurasaki clash with Whitebeard. Like, that was just crazy to me as a fan of the story. And that's why I appreciate Kozuki Oda's flashback. I think it's my favorite flashback. I think it's surpassed the Nolan flashback for me that we saw during Skypiea. And that's crazy because we all know that I'm a big fan of Nolan, as you see the profile picture. But this is the first time we're gonna see Shanks battle. So the anticipation, first of all, I'm gonna tell you guys how my opinion on this, yo. Kid versus Shanks gave me anxiety because I'm thinking Kid has gotten so much stronger since Wano. Shanks, the first time we're going to see in battle. We're seeing the Red Hair Pirates. We didn't get to see the Red Hair Pirates in Marineford because nobody wanted to smoke with them. Blackbeard didn't want to smoke with them. Akano didn't want to smoke with them. Sengoku literally said, just because it's you, Shanks, I'm going to end the war. So now, I always thought the first time we see the Red Hair Pirates fight, it would have been against the Blackbeard Pirates. But no, Oda decides, yeah, kid, all that W's you took in Wano, yeah, let's see how you really made up against Red Hair Shanks. Because think about this, yo, Killer is narrating the story too. Killer's like, yeah, last time you didn't even get to see Shanks. You got beat to a pulp. You lost your arm. It's implied that Ben Beckman took his arm. So honestly, Shanks versus Kid, we have to get through a lot of the guys that are not Shanks. What I mean by that is we're gonna have to get through at least one red hair pirate has to lose the kid. Now, which red hair pirate do I want to lose the kid? I truly want Lime Juice to lose the kid. And you probably think, who's Lime Juice? He's the guy with the blonde hair, the sunglasses. He looks super cool in Marineford. I don't think Ben Beckman can lose the kid. I don't think Yasop can lose the kid. And I don't think Lucky Roo can lose the kid because they're too hype as the top young commanders that even Brand you mentioned. So I think Lime Juice is the guy. I think he's the next strongest after those characters. So I think Kid has to mid to low diff a red hair pirate, and then we should start to see the war unfold. Of course, I think we see Killer versus Ben Beckman. Ben Beckman most likely is gonna mid to high diff Killer. Killer is extremely powerful. Don't forget, guys, we didn't see Killer go all out in Wano. He low diffed Hawkins. He was on the rooftop, did a crazy sonic move on Kaido, took a hit from Big Mom, and was still able to fight. So you have to understand that Killer is a. We still haven't seen Killer go all out like we saw Zoro and Sanji go all out in Wano. So he's way more powerful than we actually know right now. And he got nerfed versus Zoro. Don't forget that. So Killer is probably gonna get high diff to mid diff by Ben Beckman. I think I'm gonna give Killer the benefit of the doubt and say he's gonna get high diff lose to Ben Beckman. The thing is, Kid. After Kid takes the red hair pirate out, he's gonna finally take on Shanks. Shanks is not gonna let him, how does it, take out red hair pirate. What does Shanks say in chapter one? I don't care if you throw drinks on me or do all that laughing at me. If you take out one of my friends, I have to get my get back. So Kid needs to do that to get Shanks' attention, in my personal opinion. So when Kid actually fights Shanks, they're gonna fight. They're gonna go at it. There's gonna be a lot of dialogue. I think Luffy's even gonna mention because Shanks knows that Kid did damage in Wano. He was literally outside of Wano doing Kakusaki, the Green Bull. So Luffy, it's a lot of the hype of Shanks versus Kid is not more so the fighting. It's of course you want to see Shanks fight and whatnot, but I want to see more of the dialogue of Kid and Shanks. And we have to understand that Kid wants to go to Elbaf to see the man marked by burning flames. What if Shanks already knows the man marked by burning flames, which we obviously know is Jaguar D Sol. So honestly, this has big implications for the One Piece treasure. I think Blackbeard versus Law is more so implications for the history of One Piece. But I truly believe that Shanks versus Kid has more implications for the One Piece treasure, the road poneglyphs, Elbaf, the lore of the island. Now, I do believe that Shanks is going to mid-diff Kid, but just before Shanks actually tries to take out Kid, something's gonna happen. Maybe, whether it be Kid taking out Big Mom and getting the respect, of course, of Elbaf Giants and having a civil discourse where Shanks has to leave, or maybe this is crazy. In the middle of Shanks versus Kid, what if Big Mom shows up? And now it's a crazy situation where Shanks and Kid are teaming up to take out Big Mom. Or not more so teaming up, more so Shanks has to divert his attention from Kid, who's about to defeat, to fight Big Mom. There's so many elements that can happen, but one thing's for sure, for certain. Shanks versus Kid, I'm gonna give my final thoughts on this. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I don't think Kid is gonna beat Shanks. I think Shanks is too important to the story, just how Blapper is too important to the story. And that's my genuine thoughts on Shanks versus Kid. I think what I'm really interested to see is Kid's, of course, core crew members in Heat, Wire, and who does Kid have allied? Because We know that Luffy's been praised by Mihawk. He's been praised by Green Bull for having amazing allies. Like being having the ability to have allies is so big in the One Piece world. And we know Shanks is ally with the Giants. We know Blackbeard has pink beard. Okay, that was a joke, but seriously, he got Aokiji to join him. So Blackbeard does have the ability to get allies with the Impulse 6 level down prisoners and whatnot. Who does Kid has of an ally? Because we heard him say in Wano, I do things my own way. He Luffy offered that like, yo, should we beat up Kaido together? And he's like, I do things my own way. So I truly believe that Kid might have a certain ally we don't even know about that wasn't on Wano because you have to understand, Kid is pulling up to Elbaf fighting giants, fleet members, and the core red hair pirates. You think he doesn't have a fleet pirate that he called like, yo, one of his allies of maybe crazy notoriety that's gonna help him out that we don't know about? Like honestly, the hype is real if Kid does have a major player. Of course, we all know that Pooh and Hawkins were his true alliance that turned on him. But don't forget, Apu was laughing with Kid after Wano, so we don't know what Apu has for the story. But if you guys want to ask me who I truly believe might help out Kid, I think it's the Mad Monk, yo. I think Mad Monk Arouge. Think about it. We got Bonnie and Egghead Island. We got Capone and Whole Cake Island. We got, of course, Killer, Zoro, Luffy, Kid, Law, Hawkins, X Drake, Apu, all on, of course, the arc of Wano. Then we have Blackbird versus Law when it comes to there. There's one Worst Generation member missing, and that is, of course, Mad Monk Arouge. Share the Arouge. I think Arouge might actually help out Kid against Shanks, and it could come out of nowhere. Now that's just me being how to say it. There's no really evidence for Arouge helping out, of course, Kid, but it's more so me as a fan thinking there's only one Rich Nation member that hasn't come through. So now you're probably thinking if Kid loses, and where does Kid's story go after this? I think honestly, Kid's story goes to one thing and one thing only. Kid losing to Shanks, he has to fight another monster. And that monster is going to Elbaf after Egghead Island. I think Luffy versus Kid is closer than Shanks versus Kid just now because I told you guys I am pushing the Luffy top one agenda, but Luffy still needs to how do I say this? Luffy still needs to perfect Gear Fifth. If Gear Fifth had no drawbacks, I think Luffy's top one in the story. But the fact that it has drawbacks, I truly believe that Kid versus Luffy is be more competitive, especially after he fights Shanks. He could get Kankusaki coding after fighting Shanks with his awakening. So imagine Kankusaki coding Kid with awakening, with maybe even Ryo, because we've seen him saw Luffy use a physical blow Ryo in the rooftop. Versus Luffy, Mythical Zone, Advanced Conquerors Haki, Advanced Observation Haki, Advanced Armor Haki twice. Yo, Luffy has two different types of Advanced Armor Haki. That would be a more competitive fight because Kid gets stronger after Wano and Kid gets stronger after Shanks. So I think Kid versus Luffy on Alabasta gonna be really cool. And I think Green Bull's gonna be a player too. I think Green Bull might be the first admiral to get taken out in the One Piece story by a pirate because we have never seen an admiral get taken out by a pirate. Think about it, guys. Fujitora never got taken out by a pirate. Yeah, he had bandages versus Sabo, but Sabo's not a pirate, and he didn't really get taken out by Sabo. Green Bull, of course, conquers Haki and everything by Shanks, but that's not really taken out. They didn't really fight. So I truly believe Green Bull is going to be the first Admiral to get taken out. And that's just my thoughts on Shanks versus Kid in that whole stream. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts. I want to hear your guys' comments. Uh, I'm going to try to read more comments right now. I haven't checked the chat in a little bit, but I'm going to go read more comments and answer more questions. I thought I would stream today because it's break week and whatnot, but that's just my thoughts on, of course, Shanks vs. Kid. I'm not gonna hit you guys with the I'm Leonard Jamak and I'm gone. I'm still here, guys. Don't worry. But let me read the chat real quick. Let me read the chat real quick. Okay. Okay, let's see. I think Shanks would win. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think Shanks is winning, guys. I don't think it's that crazy for Shanks. Like people are thinking it's crazy for Kid to lose. I don't think it's crazy. I think Luffy has lost to so many guys. So Kid losing to Shanks is not a big deal to me. Luffy is a half Lunarian, right? Luffy half Lunarian. I'm not too sure. Maybe it's a theory you guys can link me, but I'm not too sure. I haven't thought about Luffy and the Lunarians. There's definitely a connection to Joy Boy and the Lunarians, but right now I don't know. I think King, the fact that King is waiting for Joy Boy, there's a connection there. Love the live stream, Matt. Can't wait for the next one. Yo, shout out to Joy Boy. Yeah, we're gonna try to stream every week or maybe twice a week. especially chapter days, because there's so much to talk about after chapter days. You guys, if you guys didn't know, we streamed like a couple days ago. It was me, Zakio one, and Virgo joined near the end of the stream. We're gonna try to get more guests on these streams too, but I thought today I would just answer some questions because hey, I was bored, yo. Might as well. He's going to hurt Rockstar. Yeah, Rockstar could be the pirate, red hair pirate that Kid takes out. I think it might be better if he takes out Rockstar because Lime Juice is such a hype character, even though he's shown nothing with that electric move and whatnot. But I truly believe that he has to take out Red Hair Pirate to get Shanks' attention. Kid needs to fight with a sword. Him using magnetic powers is too slow. He should use a particular weapon so his attack power, magnetic force, power force. Kid needs to fight with a sword. Him using magnetic powers is too slow. He should use one. He should use a particular weapon so his attack power, magnetic powers, force. I do believe Kid having a specific weapon would be pretty cool because we know he has Punk Rotten. We know he has Punk Pistols. We know he has, of course, Punk Gibson, but and Punk Decorner. Don't forget that huge bull he used, able to break Big Mom's bones. I think the railgun is what people really have to stop underestimating, guys. If you guys search up railgun, most powerful cannon, in on YouTube, 5,600 miles per hour. Yeah, that move is insane. So the fact that Kid has that damn Punk, which obviously got stronger, and if he gets coding hockey with that attack, I think if he gets coding hockey with the damn Punk, that could be not, of course, not the same level as Barrage Gun, but it can get close to Barrage Gun if he has the hockey with it. The only problem Kid has, he doesn't have the hockey right now, guys. Luffy Gear Fifth, if perfected, is top one. Yeah, I'm pushing that agenda, guys. I don't care, guys. A lot of people might get mad at me, especially other streamers or YouTubers. I'm telling you guys right now, I'm pushing the Luffy top one agenda. I do not care. That is something big for me. I've been doing it for the last couple months after rereading Luffy vs. Kaido. Because you have to understand, I don't really reread a lot of the recent stuff. Like I reread One Piece so many times from chapter one all the way to Dressrosa, but Zou, Whole Cake Island, Wano, I've done rereads, but I haven't reread it like in succession, all from beginning to end. So I definitely am due for a reread. I'm probably gonna reread One Piece, but if I'm gonna reread One Piece, I have to do content on it. So I probably would review maybe every chapter or maybe every arc. If you guys would want that, I don't know. Would you guys want to see me talk about every single arc in One Piece and like do a certain specific video on every arc? If you guys want to see that, put W's in the chat. If you guys don't want to see that, put L's. Yo, it's up to you guys. But let me see. I don't think Luffy will have drawbacks from Gear 5 because Luffy can believe whatever he wants. No, Luffy's drawbacks from Gear 5th are not as big as Gear 4th. I will say that. His drawbacks are actually way more smaller than Gear 4th. But Gear 5th right now isn't perfected. He just recently got it. You can't perfect something you recently got. Think about this. Kid and Law had Awakening before the rooftop, but they were scared to use it because they had no stamina to use it. They used it and they lost. It's game over. So then after Wano, we see Law using Awakening way more freely than he did in Wano. So Awakening and Delphi abilities get stronger and stronger as time goes on. So Luffy awakened his Delphi ability. Yeah, he's reached perfection, but he still needs to a couple times use Awakening. I think the fact that we saw against Lucci really made him look good, honestly. Wait, since Kid's ability is the bane of all swordsmen, so Kid can just take away Shanks' sword and win. Thoughts? Well, the reason why I disagree with that right now is because chapter 1009, I believe, or I think it was chapter 1009. If you read that chapter, you'll see that Kid tells Law to separate Big Mom and Kaido, and Law tells him I can't do that because they're using too much haki. So I think haki can really stop Kid's Delphi ability from happening. So if Kid is fighting Zoro or Mihawk or Shanks and they're using their swords, he can't just take away their sword because their haki is probably gonna be strong enough for him not to. I think haki is truly the ultimate counter to that move being broken. Shanks no sword versus Kid still mid diff. No, no, no. Shanks no sword versus Kid is actually high diff. It's not gonna reach extreme diff, but it's gonna reach high diff. The reason why I say that is because I don't think Shanks is truly just a swordsman. I think Shanks is a hockey master. So the same way he's using hockey on his swords, I think the same way he's gonna use hockey in his kicks. Like really, you saw really kick Kizaru or his fist. Like we see characters like Luffy use his fist. I think Shanks is literally just an all-around fighter. He can use his sword, but he can also fight without his sword. He's not like Zoro or Miyako, who are just prideful swordsmen who only use their sword to fight. Shanks with one arm and no sword. Surely Kid wins. Well, the thing is, Shanks' hockey is too crazy, guys. You have to understand that. So Shanks with no one arm is still a monster. The fact that Shanks has one arm is still a monster. Shanks with no sword does affect him and does make him, I think, high diff B kid right now. He could lose. He could lose the kid, obviously, but once you get to the high diff and extreme diff territory, there's always a chance they can swing the other way. So, like, I feel like Luffy beat Kaido extreme diff. And the fact that I'm saying that means that Kaido could have easily won that fight against Luffy because it was extreme diff. Is a Kaido Yonko level. Who would win between him and Kaido? I think Yonko's are stronger, extreme high diff, but what do you think? Okay, Akainu is probably one of the more controversial characters in the story, but the reason why a lot of people do believe Akainu is Yonko level is because he was mainly fighting Whitebeard and Marineford. He took off Whitebeard, half of Whitebeard's face. His Delphi ability was confirmed by Ichiro to be the strongest offensive Delphi ability in the story. He took on the entire Whitebeard commanders minus Jozu, and Crocodile was there too, and he's pretty much was unscathed. So a lot of people have to understand that Kanu also fought Aokiji for 10 days, and Aokiji was nominated to be Fleet Admiral. So Aokiji is also one of those admirals that could definitely be Yonko level because he was nominated to be Fleet Admiral. The Fleet Admiral, in my opinion, has to be Yonko level. That's why Roger said, bring me Sengoku and bring me Garp. The top admirals are pretty much close to Yonko level or pretty much are Yonko level. The same way I see Prime Rayleigh as Yonko level. So Akana Marineford had a lot of going for him being Yonko level. Does he beat? I think after that Aokiji fight, he got stronger. You have to understand that. Akainu 100% got stronger after the Aokiji fight. 10 days, 10 days. If you're fighting a guy who's that strong for 10 days, you're going to get stronger. So that is out of the question. The fact that he was so strong in Marineford, and even after Whitebeard did his crazy attacks to him, a lot of people think that Whitebeard sneaked Akainu. Akainu was still good. So I truly believe that Akainu is probably Yonko level. He's probably Yonko level. I just don't know if he's beyond Yonko level because there's certain characters that I believe are gonna be beyond Yonko level. End of story Blackbeard, end of story Luffy, Shanks, Dragon. I'm not too sure if Akano is beyond Yonko level. Right now we have a character that's very controversial in Saturn that's pulling up to Egghead Island. And I think Saturn is definitely a big player when it comes to him being beyond Yonko level. The Gorsei in general, they just are very spooky characters, but that's my opinion on Akainu as a character. I'm still in disbelief that he's really that strong because we didn't see him really perform anything from Film Red. Well, the thing is, okay, the thing is, the movies don't really show a lot of what they can do because they're saving it for their canon story. So Shanks is probably gonna do some disgusting stuff, just same way Big Mom did crazy stuff in Hulk Island and Wano, the same way Kaido did disgusting stuff in, of course, uh, Wano, and the same way that even Whitebeard did crazy stuff in Marine Ford. We're gonna see Shanks do some disgusting stuff right now in Elbaf. What happened to Kong? Well, Kong is still alive and he's still a part of the Marines. He probably has a mythical zone. That's what I'm thinking. But he was the fleet admiral during Roger's era, Roger's prime. During Rox's prime, he was the fleet admiral. So I think Kong is a monster. It's just that he is not right now relevant in the story because of how old he is. Saturn is both overrated and underrated at the same time. Well, Saturn is honestly a character in which if he gets destroyed, it will kill all the hype for the Gorsei, honestly, because we just think they're strong because of the scars they have, the swords they would carry, the fact that they're pretty much talking about annihilating anybody for Imsama. They have to be strong, right? They have to be from the Void Century. So I think they definitely took L's to Joy Boy in the Void Century, but Joy Boy is Joy Boy. So I do think Saturn is. It's not. He's not really. He definitely is overrated, but he's also underrated because we just don't know. You have to stop thinking that Oda is power scaler. He doesn't give a fuck about these Yonko level terms. Akano is the fleet admiral of this generation, and he's being preserved till the end of the series. Okay, the thing is, you have to understand, Oda doesn't care about power scaling, but power scaling still matters in the story. So, if power scaling didn't matter, why would Green Bull tell King Queen, "I will lose face if I lost to a few Yonko commanders"? Yeah, Oda doesn't care about power scaling as much as other mangakas, but it still matters for the story. Because if imagine we just saw randomly Jack come out of nowhere and just defeat Fujitora, or Jack come out of nowhere and just defeat Shanks. like there's still levels to everything. So yeah, I understand your whole frustration because power scaling. I'll be honest with you. When I read One Piece, power scaling is kind of like the last thing I think about. But you have to understand, in the One Piece community, a lot of people still like to ask questions about power scaling. So if people have questions, I'm gonna give my opinions on it. So that's how I see it. I understand your frustration, but I do think that it still matters. It just doesn't matter as much as the story, the world building, the theories, and whatnot. There's definitely more things that matter in the One Piece story, but each Oda does have. This guy's been thinking about the end of One Piece. This guy's been thinking about the One Piece story. He's been doing it for 20 years. He's definitely considering power scaling in the story. He doesn't just have random guys losing to everybody. It still matters. It's just not, it doesn't matter as much as other series and whatnot. Okay. Oh, shout out to Zoro Mendoza with the super chat. The first super chat of the stream. Kinda I appreciate it, yo. Yo, Legend Mac, let's talk about how S Hawk was sweating when he clashed with Zoro. The same way how Mihawk sweated at Zoro's last attack. Lasagna sauce. Yo, shout out to Zoro Mendoza. Okay, listen. S Hawk sweating when clashing with Zoro was crazy because you have to understand these seraphims are not human. Like they are created. So the fact that the S Hawk was sweating, there's a lot of people saying that the seraphims could grow older by the end of the story. And that's crazy. Imagine the seraphims. Who right now the seraphims are to me are around the same level as young commanders, yo. If they get stronger when they get become adult age, that would be crazy. Of course, he has Daz's bone teleport ability, which is crazy. And I do want to say this, uh, the same way how I think that really hyped up Mihawk. The seraphim really hyped up Mihawk in a sense because the fact that Zoro's telling, you're actually more softer than Mihawk, just makes me think how crazy is Mihawk when it comes to their training time skip and whatnot. So I thought that was very, very cool. Wait, guys, is the stream ended? The stream ended or what? What's going on? Am I? Let me check. Am I still streaming? Give me 1 second, guys. Everyone in the chat, tell me if I'm still good, yo. Okay, I'm still good. Okay, that's good. That's good. But yeah, like I said, that hyped up Mihawk because Zoro's pretty much saying you're nothing compared to Mihawk, and that's a seraphim, yo. That's not really a human. So honestly, shout out to that super chat. Shout out to Zoro Mendoza, yo. Big supporter of the channel, yo. I always see the comments, yo. I appreciate it. Okay, will there be a King Kong Godzilla Delphin ability? There's a chance. There's definitely a chance. I think that could be the Delphin ability of Kong, but I have to do more research to find out that Delphin ability. What do you think happened during the Void Century? What's your theory on it? Okay, the Void Century. My theory on it. I think the Void Century is connected to the Will of D's because you have to understand. There's Porcus D, Rouge. There's Saul D, Jaguar. These first names really matter. Monkey D, Dragon, Monkey D, Guard, Monkey D, Luffy, Gold D, Roger, Gold D, Ace, Marshall D, T, Trafalgar D, Law. The first names of these Willie D members matter because I think each one of these first names were characters during the Void Century that went up against the Celestial Dragon. So the same way we're looking at Red Hair Pirates as crazy hype crew and they're all balanced and whatnot. The same way you look at the Roger, the Pirate King's crew, or even Rox's crew with Big Mom, Whitebeard, and Kaido. I think the Will D was a group of people together that went up against the Celestial Dragons. Now, of course, the Ancient Kingdom is really important, and I think that it could be the origin of the Grand Line and the Pirates era because you have to understand Nolan was an explorer, Ryuma was from Wano the Samurai, Toki coming from the Void Century all the way to the present time. What was she running from? Honestly, Kazuki Oden talking about Joy Boy's gonna open the borders, Pluton, the ancient weapons. I truly believe Imsama and the Gorosei were there during the Void Century, and I think Joy Boy was going up against them. I think Joy Boy actually gave them all L's, but something happened that stopped Joy Boy from fulfilling his prophecy, and that's why we need Luffy to complete what Joy Boy's gonna do. That's why Roger was laughing at Joy Boy's tail, and Roger was too early. I think Luffy is truly gonna, how to say this, do what Joy Boy couldn't do. That's the whole thing. Now I'm not gonna lie to you because I have to do more research and more evidence. I do have theories I've done on the Void Century from years ago, but they're outdated, and I have to rewatch them and see what my mind was thinking. But when it comes to theories, I've never been a theorist, guys. I've never been a theorist. I'm more so a discussion person. So a lot of times I have to actually do evidence to do a theory. So when I drop a theory on the Void Century, I actually have to go through evidence and whatnot and then give my take on it. So that's just a little bit of me just coming off the top of my head. I'm freestyle. It's like when you ask a rapper to rap a freestyle. It's obviously not gonna be as good as if they rapped a what you call it, if they rapped a verse. So that's my thoughts on that. Okay. Okay, everyone's saying we're good out here. Yeah, it's everyone's saying we're good. We out here. You good? You're still good, brother. You're good. So speaking of seraphim, since they have Delphi power replicas, do you think they will drown in water? Do I think seraphims will drown in water? I think anything that has to do with Delphi abilities cannot swim. So if you're asking me, do I think the seraphims can swim? No, I do not think the seraphims can swim. It's hard to believe them losing to water. Yeah, it is hard to believe because Vegapunk created them. So you're thinking, how are they losing to water? But for some reason, something about Delph fruits in the ocean, I think it's the ultimate. We saw when Vegapunk was explaining Delph fruit abilities. The water is the natural enemy to Delph fruits. So I think regardless of anything, they have to, of course, fall on that. Okay, shout out to the Mimo. Power scaling does matter, but you're limiting how strong Kano will be due to it. Oda will make him as strong as he needs to be, even if that means surpassing Yonko. He has a great role to play in that story. Yeah, 100%. Oda will definitely make Akano as strong as he needs to be. So it's the same way that Crocodile gets stronger throughout the story because Oda wants Crocodile to be stronger. So he's naturally going to give him progression. At the end of the day, Oda controls power scaling. You're right. But power scaling does matter in the sense of characters we know are trying to get to the top or characters we know at the top that are blocking them from getting stronger. So that's what I'm trying to say. So Akanu, when I say Akanu's Yonko level, you have to understand Yonko level to me is the peak of One Piece. So I'm just saying Akanu as an end of story villain, just like Blackbeard, he's guaranteed to be Yonko level. Now I do not know if Akanu's gonna go beyond Yonko level. That's all up to Oda. Like I said, you just gotta wait to see what Oda does. So all I'm trying to tell you is that power scaling does matter. Of course, not as big as other things, but it still matters in the story. So yeah, it's good. I like comments like that because it's like really healthy discussions and really healthy discourse. If everybody agreed with you, it wouldn't be fun. That's what I always say, yo. Sometimes I like just arguing with people because it's a different take and you can get so much knowledge from disagreeing with someone. Of course, it has to be very, very respectful. Like if someone just are being disrespectful and calling you an idiot and whatnot, then of course it's not going to go anywhere. But if they're being respectful and they disagree with you and it's really, really naturally just like debates, like you see debates on YouTube and whatnot, like those are really good to me when it comes to just healthy conversations. Okay, let me see. Let me see. Okay, anonymous child. Luffy's full health right now versus Blackbeard full health. Who takes it? Oh, that's a good question. I might have to change the title of the stream to Shanks versus Kid to Luffy versus Blackbeard. Okay, that's a good one. Okay, Luffy right now, we know he has Conqueror's coding. We know he has a mythical Zoan that's been hyped up to pretty much the strongest Delph ability. Like everyone, I know people are thinking, okay, is Luffy's Delph ability that crazy? Look at it. They were tripping that he was on the wanted bounty poster. Luffy's Elfwood probably is the strongest Delph in the story because they were hiding it from the entire world. Yes, the Gurgur no Mi and the Yamea no Mi are the strongest Logan and the strongest Prometheus, but that zone Delph ability, they were hiding it from the world because Joy Boy had it. And it's limitless. Potential is limitless. So, first of all, Luffy's Delph ability is, I think that matches up with Blackbeard's Delph abilities. The biggest thing is hockey. Luffy has future sight. Luffy has advanced Rio, the level of which he doesn't need to touch you, and the level of him actually breaking your face in like he did against Red Rock with Kaido. So he has two types of advanced armor haki, and then of course he has Conqueror's Haki coding. That is crazy. Then we have Blackbeard who has two Delph abilities. The only man in the One Piece world who has two Delph abilities. He has strong armor haki. The fact that he blocked Seraphim S Hawk slash that cut a piece of Amazon Lily off. He blocked that attack. And there's theories that he might have Conqueror's Haki coding, but we don't even know if he has Conqueror's Haki yet. We can assume that he has it, but we don't know. We know he's had Haki since pre-time skip when he told Luffy your Haki got stronger and that pulled down. But right now, full health, who would win? I truly believe this is one of those things where if I was looking at feats, Luffy wins. Luffy actually beats Blackbeard if you're looking at feats in the story. But the thing is, Blackbeard hasn't shown all his feats, and we're gonna see that against Law, we're gonna see that against Garp, and we're gonna see that against Shanks. Blackbeard has 3 fights lined up to show his feats. So, yes, I do think that Luffy, uh, feats wise, is above Blackbeard, but I do think for, uh, there's still some things for Luffy. Not Luffy. There's still some things for Blackbeard. I got a little mangled right there, guys, in my mind. But I still think there's still some things for Blackbeard to catch up to Luffy when it comes to feats, guys. So that's my thoughts right there. Let me read the chat real quick. Okay. I feel like Kid is gonna take Shanks's right arm. Eye for an eye. If Kid takes his Shanks' right arm, he has no arms. And I'm not trying to see a story where Shanks has no arm. Like Shanks, no arm fighting characters, which is his feet, or putting a sword in his mouth like he's Zoro. I ain't trying to see a story like that. So that would be cool, eye for an eye, but I don't really see that happening. Shout out to Zoro Mendoza though. For sure. Love you, bro. Yo, shout out to the Mimo. Yo, I told you guys I like comments that are disagreeing with me because it leads to healthy conversations, yo. So it's all love, bro. It's never hate, bro. I'm not gonna lie. This channel is never hate, bro. If there's any hate in this channel, I'll be shocked, yo. Because then I'm thinking you're just creating hate. There's no hate to even be created. So yeah, honestly, yo. Okay, Year fifth bolsters colors of Supreme King. It makes it more versatile if you read the Viz translation. So I think Luffy. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. You guys have to understand. If you reread Luffy vs Kaido, when Luffy first awakens his Delphin ability, his Conqueror's Haki explodes. We see Sanji wake up. Sanji was sleeping and he wakes up from his Conqueror's Haki. We see Kid, Law, Yogoro, Marco all tripping that Luffy's Conqueror's Haki is exploding. Even when he comes down to punch Kaido and grab him and bring him back to the rooftop, all of the fodder beast pirates get knocked out. Luffy versus Kaido, reread that fight and you'll understand his Conqueror's Haki was disgusting. It was oozing out of him. What do you think is happening? A third party pulling up and stopping them? Shanks versus Kid. Again, we talked about this earlier, but I'll talk about it again. Shout out to Jameson Edwards. Honestly, I do think a third party stopping them, but I do think Kid will be on the edge of losing before it gets stopped. It's going to be a situation where Shanks is mid-diffing Kid, and I think it could be Big Mom coming to Elbath. It could be Green Bull. It could be Marines. It could be anything. It could be some of the fleet pirates of the Straw Hat Fleet pirates like the Hajiruda and the Giants coming to help Kid. I don't know, not too sure. It could be Loki in the civil discourse of Elbath. There's so many different elements that could happen that could really change the game. Honestly, you know what would be crazy? This would be crazy. If Kid versus Shanks is at the end of the fight, if Luffy pulls up from Egghead Island, that would be insane. Imagine Vegapunk helps the Sunny Go get a crazy coup de burst that sends them right to Elbath. Now that would be crazy. But honestly, I think there's so many different elements that could happen, but I think that honestly the fight won't be completed. I think the fight will be completed in our eyes and we will know a winner, but for the person to get killed or captured, it won't be defeated. Something's gonna save Kid because I don't think Shanks is gonna kill Kid, even though right now the stakes are he's gonna kill him and take his 4 poneglyphs. Yeah, that exactly the point, yo. Kid and Shanks cannot lose here story wise, guys. Like for Kid to lose, it's like damn, you just lost all your Rapona gifts. Like you had so much promise. Like what's going on? You just beat Big Mom. It's kind of like sad if Kid loses. But Shanks is like you're so important to the story. You gotta fight Blackbeard. You're trying to claim the One Piece, and you're a legendary pirate. For you to finally fight and then lose would be kind of pathetic. Like your first fight and then you lose. Like even Kaido didn't lose in his first fight. Even Big Mom didn't lose in her first fight. Like you have to understand, legendary pirates don't really lose in their first fights unless it makes sense. Think about this: Whitebeard, the first time we see Marineford, he does lose, but he looks epic losing, and we know that's not his first fight. He's in his old age. He's not in his prime. So that's how I see it. Kid nor Shanks can really lose here. Story. Luffy is broken. Yeah, Luffy's extremely broken. If you reread that fight, guys, and you understand why I'm pushing the top one agenda of Luffy when he's fully mastered Gear Fifth. Like the craziness in that fight. No way, Kid. Jobs, yo, Kid, yo. I don't want Kid to be a jobber, yo. I don't. Sorry, just got here. No, it's all good. Everyone just getting here, bro. Like the stream if you just got here, guys. We've been streaming for I think about an hour and a half. So, like the stream if you guys been here. Does Shanks take Kid's poneglyphs? Yes, Shanks takes his poneglyphs. I'm gonna be honest with you. Yo, I'm gonna be honest with you. Blackbeard and Shanks meeting Law and Kid is only one reason Oda did this, yo. Oda did this because he wants Blackbeard and Shanks to get really close to One Piece before even Luffy. And think about this, guys. If Blackbeard takes Law's poneglyphs, he has Zoes, he has Wanos. If now, and he also probably has Whole Cake Island because he got pudding from there. He got pudding and he probably took the roll poneglyph too. Then we also have Shanks. Shanks has the missing road poneglyph. He gets Kid's road poneglyph, which is Whole Cake Island, which he took when he injured the Sweet Commander, and of course Wano, which he took after the Kaido and Big Mom fell. So Shanks will have three road poneglyphs. Blackbeard will have three road poneglyphs. The missing road poneglyph that Blackbeard has that doesn't have is Shanks has it. The missing road poneglyph that Shanks doesn't have, Blackbeard has it. And you know what's gonna be crazy? That means Blackbeard and Shanks are gonna be battling for the final road poneglyph. And it's crazier because if Blackbeard beats Shanks, he has all four road poneglyphs. And you know what that means? Luffy needs that missing road poneglyph. And who has that missing road poneglyph? Shanks, who just got beaten, and Blackbeard. That's why I believe it's going to be a triangle. Luffy versus Blackbeard versus Shanks is going to be a crazy triangle fight that people don't even understand the gravity. It's the final saga. It's the final saga, and we still hasn't seen any of these guys fight each other. So it's going to be hype. Truly, truly be hype. You reading comments? Yes, I am reading comments. Shout out to Food League. See, I'm reading comments out here. Cheers, Nakama Binks. AF. Yeah, 100% Binks Sasaki. Yo, I would sing the song, but I can't lie to you. I've been reading comments for so long that I'm almost losing my voice right now. So I'm not going to do my singing, like my great town singing that I could do with the lasagna. But honestly, it's really cool to see everyone dropping their questions. Everyone hyped for Shanks versus Kid. It's truly hype. If you guys want to see more streams like this, put a W in the chat. If you guys want to see more streams like this, if you guys want guests, put down. I want to see what kind of guests do you guys want? What are other One Piece YouTubers that you guys watch that you guys want to see on the streams? Because I really am excited to actually put other people on the streams and talk about One Piece. It's gonna be really cool because our last stream we had Zakio1 and we had Virgo, which we talked about One Piece, and it got really hectic. If you guys should definitely check out the last stream. Of course, also got to promote Dripco. You guys are probably thinking, what is Dripco? Dripco is my actual channel. You're probably thinking, wait, Legend Max has been your channel for 8 years. No, Dripco is a new channel I made 3 months ago where I'm really stepping on my game. I'm editing better. I'm making scripts. I don't really make scripts on the Legend Max channel. I really talk freely on the Legend Max channel, but Dripco, I'm making scripts. I'm editing crazy. We have 1,280 subscribers on that channel. It's mostly power scaling. So if you guys are really want One Piece content, go to that channel. Go to the Dripco channel. Type in. I'll type it in the chat right now, guys. Let me type it right now. Dripco. This is the channel. Search it up, yo. I just dropped a How Strong Is Kid video, so you guys check out that channel. And I really want to make a Kaido related video and maybe a Shanks related video. A lot of power scaling on that channel. That's like my power scaling, and I'm gonna start doing explain videos on that channel. Where on Legend Mac I want to do streams and I want to do more theory discussions and chapter based videos. So I'm trying to mix it up on both channels. It's hype. It's really hype. So check out that channel, guys. It's not going to be Luffy versus Blackbeard versus Shanks. Yeah, you never know. If that's what you believe, that's what you believe. Does Luffy become Pirate King before the Revolutionary War versus Emu? Does Luffy become Pirate King for the Revolutionary War versus Emu? I think Whitebeard said it best. When the One Piece is found, a huge war will begin. That's the crazy part. Kid versus Shanks. Law versus Blackbeard. Even Kaido versus Big Mom versus Luffy in the Worst Generation. Those are not the big wars that Whitebeard's talking about. Whitebeard's talking about when Luffy actually becomes Pirate King. So yeah, I do think the Revolutionary War versus Emu is gonna happen simultaneously after Luffy defeats Blackbeard. I'm gonna reread Wano. I think it'll be interesting. Yeah, definitely, guys. I'm gonna tell you guys right now. Wano has a lot of chapters, but reread Wano and reread Whole Cake Island too. Those two arcs as a reread was way more enjoyable than when I was reading it weekly, guys, because you're getting it all in one go. It's going to be Buggy versus Luffy versus Blackbeard. No, I think Buggy is actually going to be a part of the Blackbeard War. And you probably think I'm trolling. I'm not really trolling. I think Buggy is connected to Mihawk, connected to Shanks, connected to Luffy, connected to all these characters. Impel Down prisoners are under Buggy. Blackbeard is part of has Impel Down prisoners. I think Buggy and Blackbeard could be a plot point that we could see. Okay. I'm seeing right now. Oh, I see Pharaoh Space, Demon Dolphy. Okay, yeah. Shout out to, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Pharaoh Space, I have collabed with Pharaoh Space before on the channel, so definitely Pharaoh Space is someone that's probably gonna if I just gotta ask for Space if he wants to join or not. He'd definitely be down. Demon Dope. I do not know who Demon Dofi is, but I'll check him out. Brago and KO together, bro. Get those two, and that's goated stream video. Yeah, Brago. I've collabed with Brago before. I can easily get Brago. KO. Well, I didn't. Cole. I never have streamed with him before, but I watch his content. King Lightning is the goat of the One Piece, like one of the goats of the One Piece community. Yo, he does a lot of good content. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, shout out to Zaki. Putting the Dripco channel. Everyone check out that channel, guys. What would you estimate Seraphim power level to be around? Oh my gosh, yo, the Seraphim power level to be around. That's a good question. Honestly, the Seraphim are probably Cracker Jack level. I know that's crazy, but they're Lunarian based. They have Delphin abilities, and they also have laser beams. Like, what more do you want? They're not flying six level. I think Seraphims can actually defeat the flying six in a 1v1. Think about this. We just saw Luffy in his Gear Fourth and Lucci in his hybrid form do a combination attack on the Seraphim. I still think the Seraphim's gonna get back up. That's how powerful I think they are. So if you want me to scale them right away, I still need to see more, but that's what I would say. You think that's going to be another all-out war between Marines and Pirates? Yeah, I think Akainu is fed up. Yo, we've been seeing this guy be pissed off after Wano, after Law versus Blackbeard, and after Shanks versus Kid, and after Egghead Island with Vegapunk being kidnapped, and seeing Saturn, Kizaru, and 100 Marine ships pulling up to Egghead. There's probably going to be a final Marine war where a lot of Marines are going to lose. We're going to see maybe a lot of Admirals lose. It's going to be crazy because the first Marine War, we didn't see no Marines lose. We saw Aokiji defeat Jozu. We saw Kizaru get unscathed. We saw Akainu go crazy. Like, honestly, we're probably going to see Marines lose in the final war. And Oda has been saving these guys to lose at the end of the story. Think about this. Garp is going to fight Blackbeard right now. He's probably going to lose to Blackbeard. Yeah, shout out to Redley saying, done fam. Yes, I respect that. I rate it, yo. You should try to pop in on their top 30s. Yeah, 100%. I gotta if I get free time, I'm definitely gonna pop in some of these streams because I see a lot of people streaming nowadays. You have to understand, when I joined the One Piece community, streaming wasn't that common. So you have to understand that nowadays everybody's streaming, everybody's putting out content. The One Piece community is at its highest point. It's at its best point. So many new content creators. Like me, I'm an OG. I'm from the 2015, 2016 days. So how to say this? A lot of the things I believe in when it comes to the One Piece community are outdated. That's why I'm learning so much. They understand just because I'm an OG and I've been in the game for so long doesn't mean I know everything. I gotta learn more from the new guys who are posting content, streaming and whatnot. So that's my thoughts right there. Okay, shout out to Zoro Mendoza, another super chat. If 1v1, always bet on Zoro on land C. Shout out to Kaido. Okay, that was a good one. That was a good one, yo. You know what's funny? Zoro, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. I'm gonna be the first to admit it. I didn't think Zoro was that strong before the rooftop. And this super chat from Zoro Mendoza is motivating me to talk about it, but he really impressed me on the rooftop. He was probably the most impressive character in the first 10 chapters of the rooftop. After, of course, chapter 1010, that's when Luffy was using advanced Conqueror's Haki, and my impression, I got super impressed by Luffy there. But Zoro getting Conqueror's Haki, Zoro scarring Kaido with his Ashura move, Zoro defeating King with Conqueror's Haki coding. Zoro is extremely powerful right now. Like Zoro going all out is actually more powerful than a lot of people think. He could be around the same level as, like, think about this, yo. He could be the same level as Kin Law right now. And I see Kin Law's powerhouses. I still have to reread a lot of the Zoro stuff to truly power scale him, but he's a monster in the story. There's a lot of fights happening, but what's your opinion on the end game? Aimless still unknown. Beat Blackbeard versus Law, Shanks versus Kid, Garp rescuing Kobe, and Strauss versus Kizaru Fleet. Well, a lot of the things I did talk about, so I'm gonna talk about Garp rescuing Kobe. I do think that Kobe getting captured by Blackbeard is, think about this, yo. I think you guys are noticing a trend. Blackbeard captures Kobe. Law versus Blackbeard. Kid versus Shanks. A lot of these new generation characters are being faced with huge hurdles. Now, Luffy, there's Saturn and Kizaru, and I think Saturn is going to be that huge hurdle for Luffy because Saturn, I think, has faced Joy Boy in the past during the 4th centuries. The reason why I mention this is because I think Kobe is going to be a monster end of story. I think Kid is going to be a monster end of story, just like how Law is going to be a monster end of story. And of course, Luffy is going to be the monster of all monsters end of story. These are their final hurdles to make them legendary characters. So the next people they fight, Kid is gonna have to fight other monsters like Law and Luffy, and the same thing for Law and Luffy, and the same thing for Kobe. Kobe's gonna have to fight all these legendary pirates. He has to become the Garp of the end of story era. So that's how I see it when it comes to Kobe being rescued by Garp, the Straw Hats versus Kizaru fleet. There's so many different elements that are really hype. No cap. Clown Race is my head canon. Yeah, shout out to the Clown Race. Off topic, but are you planning on covering Hunter x Hunter again? Nenmac was my go-to. Listen, I'll tell you guys right now. The thing with Hunter x Hunter is I do want to make Hunter x Hunter content. I do enjoy the Hunter x Hunter series. If you have to understand, Hunter x Hunter is a series where I rewatch so many times. So I definitely do enjoy it. I do want to make content on it. The thing is, I was focusing a lot on One Piece. After a couple months of me finally getting the swing of things of posting One Piece content consistently, I most likely will do consistent Hunter x Hunter content. But that's if you guys wanted to. If you guys want to see me do Hunter x Hunter content, I'll do it. But it's a lot of the time it's more so it's all about if you guys want to see it or not. Because Hunter x Hunter is a very enjoyable series. I will keep it real with you guys. Well, they do have bounties on their head, so yeah, the Marines do have bounties on their head. Shout out to them. Zoro pushing Big Mom to high diff, no cap. Zoro pushing Big Mom to high diff, no cap. Let me think about it. Big Mom. I think Big Mom 1v1. I'm trying to think about it right now. Because we've seen Kid and Law have got stronger. Uh, they extreme diff together, Big Mom, and they have gone stronger after Wano. I think Zoro's around the same level as Kid and Law right now. So Zoro, I don't think Kid and Law could defeat Kaido, Big Mom, Shanks, or Blackbeard in a 1v1 right now. So the same way I don't think Zoro can defeat those Yonkos in a 1v1 right now. But I do think they're gonna have a better chance in a 1v1 after Wano. So Zoro, I think Zoro loses high diff to Big Mom. That's how I see it. I think Zoro loses high. Actually, Zoro, think about it. I think Zoro might lose mid diff to Big Mom actually because Big Mom is on the same level as I think the thing is I see Shanks as beyond Big Mom. As crazy as it is, but I do think Shanks is beyond Big Mom. So yeah, I think high diff. Yeah, Big Mom probably beats Zoro high diff. I'll say that because I think Big Mom beats Kid in a 1v1 like extreme to high diff too. So I think that's how I see it right now after the story has been going on. Okay, let me see. Let me see the chat. I'm trying to see the comments. Respect, bro. Honestly, think Luffy is in the most trouble out of Luffy, Kid, and Law. The 100 Navy ship Saturn Kizaru is no joke. Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people are not talking about. They're sweating for Law versus Blackbeard. Blackbeard doesn't even have his whole crew with him. They're sweating for Shanks versus Kid. Shanks didn't even know Kid was gonna pull up. He was about to leave. This is different. The Marines are planning to take out Luffy. They have CP0 and Lucci and Kaku. We're definitely not going to team up with Luffy the whole time. We have, of course, Saturn, who has control of the Seraphims. We have, of course, Kizaru and Admiral, and probably multiple Vice Admirals there too. This is the reason why they're bringing 100 ships is because, unlike Kid and Law, there's a reason why Luffy's in more trouble. He has that Yonko title on him. So to take out Luffy, you have to bring Marine 4 level power force against them. So right now, Kizaru and Saturn, I wouldn't be surprised if we see an extra admiral with them. Who knows? There might be a secret admiral out of nowhere, like Fujitora or Greenville, that pops up out of nowhere to help them out. Okay. I watch a lot of OP YouTubers. BDA, Joyboy, Randy, Tekking, Sai, Zojin, you, Preach, Threeville. I haven't got into Hunter yet. Do it if you like. Yeah, yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah, shout out to the One Piece community is so big, guys. There's so many big YouTubers out here, yo. Like, just think about like every now and then you're gonna see new YouTubers that are gonna be very successful because their content is really good, you know? How does this one of the best YouTubers right now? You gotta check him out, Zaki11, yo. He has some crazy content. His Gorosei theory when it comes to Rock, Steve Zebek killing a Gorosei, his Shanks claiming the One Piece theory. A lot of people don't know he predicted Shanks uh, actually going up against Kid in his video and how it's all set up for the Royal Poneglyph. So you guys gotta check out that video on that channel. It's actually one's channel, guys. So definitely. I haven't gone to Hunter yet. Kid still got Hawkins Apu with him. I don't think Hawkins is with the kid, but I wouldn't be surprised if Apu actually is with Kid. For some reason, I think Kid doesn't really hate Apu as much as he's making it out to be. Because they've been beefing since Sabaody, they beefed in Wano, but I could see this. I could see Apu actually just riding along with Kid, but it's a slim chance, but I wouldn't be surprised because he was partying with them after Wano ended. Zaki said definitely mid diff, 100%, 100%. Yo, shout out to Zaki. That's fire. Let's hope Oda gives all these characters their goaded moments. Hope Zoro gets a new Ashra form because all he got was Kankazaki coding and Sanji got major upgrades. Yeah, that's the thing you have to understand. Zoro's Kankazaki coding is extremely hype because only a handful of people, like Kato said, had that move set. So the fact that Zoro got it was hype. But Sanji's buffs, not a lot of people are talking about it. First of all, we know his armor haki got buffed. We know his exoskeleton got buffed because now, like, you seen that slash attack that his Queen did recently in the anime, and now we have to understand Sanji's speed got buffed with his haki. Now he has blue flames, sending Queen flying off of Onigashima. Sanji's buffs were insane. The fact that Queen couldn't see Sanji, he was invisible without the invisible Delphin ability. That is some of the greatest speed feats we've seen in the story, yo. They're setting up Sanji versus Kizaru soon, guys. That's a fight they're setting up. How Roger and Whitebeard were known as equals. End of story. Who will be Luffy's Whitebeard? Okay, that's a good question. I don't think it might be crazy to say, but I don't think Kid is Luffy's Whitebeard. That's because Whitebeard and Roger have this thing where they battle their equals, but they never actually take each other out. I honestly believe Law is more destined to be Luffy's Whitebeard than Kid because Law and Kid have the same, how to say this, portrayal as rivals to Luffy. They were doing the same devastating attacks to the Yonko Big Mom. They're both fighting a Yonko right now. But the thing with Law differentiates from Whitebeard is he actually wants to get the true history. He wants to know the true history. But Whitebeard found out the true history from Roger telling him, but Law wants to actually find it out by getting the One Piece. So there's a difference between Law and Whitebeard, but I do think Law is more likely to be the Whitebeard fit to Luffy than, of course, Kid. Because Kid and I see a lot of people say, but I see Kid as more as a Shiki type character when it comes to the rivalry between Roger. What about Prime Big Mom? Okay, this is the thing. I've been in a very heated debate about Big Mom and her prime self. People think Big Mom is in her prime during Wano. Some people think Big Mom was in her prime during Roger's era. Me personally, I think Big Mom was in her prime during Roger's era because Perospero said it, yo. When she was skinny, yo, she was moving as fast. He's been so long since he's seen Big Mom move that fast during Hokage Island. So I do think Big Mom wasn't in her prime during Wano. I think she was extremely powerful, but I think she's even more strong in her prime. That's my thoughts. Okay, don't count the prisoner. Don't count the prisoner out either. Once they get free, the ones with Vegapunk. Yeah, I can't forget about the CP7s and CP5s. They'll definitely do damage too. Can't forget about them. It's really not. We're gonna get out of Egghead is a new ship for the Straw Hat and a couple of Vegapunks. Yeah, there is also the chance of Luffy getting out unscathed, which most likely will happen. So there's that. Bro, I like your content. Do not get me wrong. I just like OP that much. Bro, I like your content too. Do not get me wrong. I just like OP that much. No, 100%, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't take offense to any of that. 1,000 Sunny-ish. Going anywhere. Law's gonna sell out the ancient weapon info to Blackbeard for his life. I'm gonna be honest with you. This might be crazy to say, but Law's no punk. A lot of people have this narrative that Law's a punk. I see no punk in Law. I definitely believe Law is capable of pretty much standing up to Yonkos and not crying for his life, yo. I think he has the same dog in him that Eustass Kid and Killer had when they went up against Kaido. That Apu and Hawkins definitely didn't have. He has a dog in him. I know people think I'm joking, but I'm serious. When I'm to X Drake, he disappeared. Well, X Drake is part of Sword, so him disappearing makes sense. He's actually you had him fighting CP's agents. You had him fighting Beast Pirates. You had him fighting Zoro. Like you had him fighting everyone there. He's just a Marine, guys. Kid and Law are going to be fine. This is just Oda's way of bringing Kid and Law to Luffy's level by fighting Yonko on their own. I've been saying this. Yeah, I agree. Shout out to Perks. Yo. I've been saying that Law and Kid fighting Shanks and Blackbeard is gonna make them Yonko level. It's crazy to say it, but that's their way to become Yonko level. I low key hope he loses his other arm to make the pair a little crazier. Yeah, that would be crazier. I agree about Law. It's eternal life plot thing that gets me thinking he don't make it. Yeah, Law has a lot of death flags. I won't lie to you. A lot of death flags. Yeah, Law's a boss like Shanks. Okay, I read a lot of the comments, guys. So I think I'm done. I talked about Shanks versus Kid. I read a lot of the comments. I read all the super chats. So definitely, I think how long have I been streaming? I think I've been streaming for 2 hours. But everybody like the stream, guys. If you guys want to see more streams with guests, definitely like the stream. You're gonna see probably a video on this channel in a couple of days. Maybe a Greenbow video, maybe a Shanks Kid video. I'm not too sure. Let me ask you guys right now. What do you guys want? A Kid Shanks video or a Greenbow video? Because I did have this Greenbow video in the storage for a very long time. Also, the next stream is probably going to be around Thursday, Friday. I'm going to try to get some guests. I'm going to ask a couple people. I might ask Zakio1 again to join. We'll see who else is open to join on that stream. But yeah, like I said, if you guys enjoy the stream, like the stream. This was a very fun stream, but yo, I'm tired. If you guys can tell, I've been talking for hours, yo. I'm about to lose my voice. I'm about to get the whole Law Big Mom treatment where he made her shut up real quick, yo. So thanks everyone who supported the channel. Thanks everyone who supported the stream. I'm out of here. Like I should say, I'm the Legend Mac and I'm gone. Yeah, I'm out of here. Wait, I didn't end the stream. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I'm gone.